one?
Well, there's a button that says go live.
Yeah, I know. I just clicked it. I'm like, I wonder how delayed we are, though. Like, how long did it take? Like, did they hear my whole opening? I guess it doesn't matter. Hi, guys. I know we're a little early. I don't care. I was like, you know, screw it. We're ready. Okay, Hunter, we have to make sure we don't swear for the first minute. Can you do that?
I can manage. I'll sit on my hands.
Yes,
I'll
please.
let you do the talking.
YouTube was not happy.
Because we need to make sure that this video about Hazbin Hotel of all
I
things
know.
is advertiser friendly.
Yeah, well, you know what? YouTube clocked me for episode 2, I believe it was. And they said it was because of swearing in the title or thumbnail, which it doesn't have. There is no swearing in the title or thumbnail, so I still don't understand why it was demonetized. Like, not demonetized, it's limited ads, which is basically, I don't know, may actually be worse than being demonetized. I'm not sure. It was not good. It was not good. Can you guys hear us? Can you guys hear anything? Okay, well, we're here anyway, so we're gonna talk about all 4 Hazbin Hotel episodes. I know that, like, okay, so last week they released it at, like, Thursday at 6 o'clock or something. Like, I don't know, I guess it was midnight somewhere, but it wasn't midnight for us, so we had to get this. I was like, I'm kinda not that I'm not feeling it, but, like, I don't know, like, I was having a bit of a cozy situation. I'm not wearing my tiara, because, you know, heavy... What is it? Heavy the head that wears the crown? Yeah, I know. And so, yeah, there's that. But yeah, we are here to just talk about Hazbin Hotel. Why does it say that our stream has no data? Do not do this to me. Last time I went live, this happened to excellent connection. Yeah, that's what I thought. You better stay that way. Okay.
I love how the implication here is that, like, you can bully your
I know,
computer
the bully
and
the
behave
internet
incorrectly.
connection. Yeah, I do talk to my computer like it's a person.
Talk to a lot of things like it's people.
Yeah, it's true.
I heard you give, like, sass to, like, a door.
Well, when I bump into things, I apologize.
You always call it a man.
I'm like, sorry.
But it's funny, because, like, no, because whenever something gives you, like, guff, you're like, sir? Like, it's,
Oh, okay, yeah,
you
they can
imply
see us.
that because it gives you an issue, it is a man.
Yeah, basically.
Which is so,
you're right.
So wonderful. Such a wonderful thing for you to do.
Okay, so I guess we'll pretty much just get into it. So if you guys don't know, we did this for Ruby. I don't know if anybody's interested in us doing this for Hazbin. Hopefully at least one of you is here so we can talk. And we're not exactly like talking in the void and whatever, but you know, it'll be uploaded after for the people that want to see it later on. Because we basically, for Ruby, we used to do reviews, and it was just Hunter and I talking, and that was it, right?
Yes.
And then we would upload them, and eventually we changed
screaming.
to a...
It wasn't always just talking.
Right, screaming
Yelling.
at each other. But
There's been crying occasionally.
But what I'm saying
Cal
is
hits me sometimes.
is that we... Oh my god,
It's
is
fine.
that we... changed at some point to a live format, just because it was more, like, it was nice to engage with people in real time about the episode, and then also it was easier to edit, as in no editing, editing at all, so, yeah. So I hope that you guys are here for it, because it is going to be interesting to see if Hazbin works the same way, because for Ruby, it's always like there are like 600 girlies, it's just us, and we're all here talking about the episode. But I do think there are some interesting things that happened in this episode in terms of lore and stuff, and so, oopsie, and so we're basically gonna
episodes, because...
Yeah, episodes.
Because Amazon wants to punish us.
Yeah.
They've released
I'm
4
still mad
episodes
about
in
that
a row.
a little bit. Also, hello peel, as in banana peel. I see that. Hello banana peel in the chat. But, yes. Hello. Okay. So, what I was gonna say was, it seems like that we're okay and we're live and we don't need to worry, so that's fine. What I was gonna say was, I'm still not happy that they did that. I think that that was a bad decision. I don't think that they should have dropped all 4 episodes at once. I also think, though,
I think they
in
understood
some ways,
that
things don't start to get good until episode 3.
I think they understood that 1 was a really good episode and 4 was a really good episode.
Yeah.
So it's that thing where it's like, it's okay if the middle's a little, if you start good and you end good, that's all people remember.
I think they should have done it in 2s, though, still.
I do think.
Because we're halfway through the season and it's been 4 days. Like, that's basically how it feels right now. In the discussion, like, people were speculating whether or not, I don't know, Husk because in the first episode, he mentions, do you think that I would be here if he wasn't forcing me, talking about Alastor? And that could have been a very interesting, like, that's like a week's worth of theorizing, like, what does that mean? What do you mean that Husk is forced to be here by Alastor? But then we find out 4 episodes later, so that's not fun or funky fresh for us and our theorizing purposes. I want to write a video script about how the show is not about religion, but it's about capitalism, because I've started to notice some very interesting things in relation to capitalism.
Yes.
But why don't we just get into the episode? So we're not gonna, like, for Ruby, we would, like, stay on one panel and we would just talk about that panel.
I was promised we're going to
hours.
be expedient with
this. So we are going to, we are going to hustle. I just need to make sure that everything's okay on my end.
We also need to hustle because there's 4 episodes to get to.
And so, okay, see, once upon a time, there was a glowing city protected by golden gates, all right? Capitalism, right here. The
Capitalism is when walls.
Yeah, exactly. Well, kind of, you know what I mean? And so the Golden Gates, kind of like Golden Gated community.
Well, pearly
also,
gates is like a thing people say.
Also, I hope you guys don't mind. I need to read my notes on my phone because we only have 2 monitors, and I don't want to leave the chat out in the cold, in the dust, in the rain, and whatever. Okay, so yeah, and also we will be showing you guys screenshots when it's pertinent, but if it's not pertinent, I'm covering that stuff up because, again, YouTube was not very happy. So this was all the exposition, the Avatar The Last Airbender, somebody compared it to that, which I thought was really funny.
I think it's
interesting they started the show off with this lore, though, like, just because, not that Hazbin isn't a lore-heavy show, because I definitely have theories, like, the theories are cooking, but it's just funny how it's so unserious that they started this episode like it was gonna be the equivalent of something like Avatar The Last Airbender, like, in terms of lore and stuff. I do like, since we're talking about uncovering the screen, sometimes I do
biblically accurate angels.
Yeah, I do enjoy biblically accurate angel. I thought that was really funny. Just, I don't know, just to see, right? Because that begs the question, too, like, Adam doesn't look like that because Adam was human.
First,
and so there's some interesting implications going on with that sort of stuff that I have in my notes.
Made an angel later, which seems odd.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that, because I think the stuff with Adam is very suspicious. There's a lot of suspicious things happening. So obviously, Lucifer being an angel, I guess he doesn't look like the ones with all the eyeballs, but maybe when he gets mad, he would look like that, because Charlie also seems to have some final form, right? In episode 4, she almost, like, goes berserk on someone, so maybe, I don't know. But yeah.
Also, Lucifer has a top hat. So many people have top hats.
I know, I love it.
I made this joke to you earlier when we were rewatching these episodes today, but I think there's more top hats in VisiPop cartoons than there are in
circulation.
In real life, and even at the height of, like, top hats as popular
I like
fashion.
a good top hat, right? Because, I mean, they're dead. They're from different times, right? So I enjoy. But yeah, I love how, look at Lucifer's his little sad face.
Oh,
like, some of the graphics just kill me. I do think that because this is the story of hell and it's Charlie's storybook, I do think that, because we have the theory that Adam's not being entirely honest with what happened, right? I do think that it's not just going to be about that. I have a sneaking suspicion that it's also going to be that, like, Lucifer lied a little bit too. Like, I think that there's kind of gonna be a middle ground where it's like, Dad, you lied to me or something. Like, there's gonna be something like that going on, right? Oh, but yeah, so it's interesting too that the other angels, they all have unique halo designs, and so maybe we will see them someday.
Really, what a top hat is just a halo.
Yeah, exactly. It's just his halo's underneath, right? And
he got really into the, like, early, like, 2010 steampunk revival. That's why he was cast out of heaven.
But since they're all different, I wonder if these are people we'll actually meet. How many archangels are there? Do you know?
Oh, God.
Bible
there's an angel
school?
there's an angel Gabriel, there's the angel of death.
Okay.
There's Megatron. No.
Megatron!
Sorry, Metatron.
Megatron!
Metatron.
Okay, explanation?
Metatron is the voice of God.
Oh, okay, but that's not an angel, is it?
Yeah, he's an angel.
Oh, okay.
There's Aziraphale, I believe.
So is it 6 is what I'm asking? There's 6 angels here, is it 6?
Aziraphale is the angel of death, I think.
Chat. Fact check.
You know,
Fact check the angel.
I can look.
I know, but there could be like thousands of angels, or there could be like 6 angels. Like, we don't really know. Anyway.
Well, I know. Well, Gabriel, death. Gabriel
I do
and
wonder.
death.
Like, okay, so this one's hair is very particular. There is somebody in the trailer. I think people have been calling them Seraphine. I don't know if they were a character that was showcased before, but like they're the character that has the reflection of the flames in their eyes. I wonder if we'll see any of these other angels. I think that would be interesting.
Here are the 7 archangels.
Okay, so there's 7. So we only saw 6 though. Is that because Lucifer got kicked out?
Maybe.
Okay.
We have Michael.
Yeah.
Gabriel.
Yeah.
Uriel.
Okay.
Camille.
Yeah.
Raphael.
Okay.
Raphael. Jophiel.
Sure.
And Zadkiel.
Okay. So, but they only have. Oh, chat. Chat is reading the exact same thing that you are. And then there's the 8th.
And Azaraphel. There's
Yeah.
an Azaraphel. There's a Shibriel. Cassiel. Oh, because.
Because of supernatural? That's not what
Supernatural?
you're about to say. Okay, so yeah, I don't know
Raziel.
then. Like, I don't know what's
Hero
going on with
Hanel.
there only being 6 right here, but maybe we'll discover
I've
more
heard
later.
4, 7, and 12, so who the fuck knows?
Yeah, chat is saying 8, so interesting. Interesting. Okay, so Adam and Lilith. I actually never heard this before, but as Hunter mentioned last time, this is
So-
a thing that happens.
So
In
yes,
some versions of the Bible.
Azrael is the angel of death. So Lilith just means a night creature, and if you go
Sure.
into most English language versions of the Bible, you will see night creatures, as in creatures that were cast out of Eden. Lilith is just another name for one of the night creatures, and there's sects of Judaism
Yeah.
that have a version of Hebrew mythology where Lilith was created because Eve was created from Adam. People say
Yeah.
a rib, but that's a mistranslation. The original Hebrew is a portion.
Yeah,
A
like just any
portion?
part of him.
Yeah.
Just a
The-
little
the
chunk,
better
you
parts.
know?
And then so that made Eve subservient to Adam.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Lilith, who was created in clay in her own image.
Yeah.
And she wouldn't have sex with Adam.
Yeah.
So she was cast out and replaced. There is a sect of, it is not the original story.
Yeah.
It is a thing that developed in some Hebrew mythology later down the line.
Okay.
And this is kind of a
reference
to it. She just gets kicked out of Eden and you never hear from her again. So oftentimes when people talk about demons, they talk about Lilith,
Yeah.
you know?
Okay.
But yeah, like all the stuff about her hitching it with Lucifer, that comes later as well.
Are they supposed to be the angels above Adam and Lut? I'm assuming, yeah. Like all of the, like
Yes.
Lucifer would have been
Is
in
the
the
king,
hierarchy,
yeah.
like once above.
I will also say that a lot of stuff that people think about, like the afterlife and a lot of Christian mythology, is actually like Christian fan fiction that was created by people. It was art, so like the Divine Comedy is where you get the 7 layers.
Like Dante?
Yeah, Dante's Inferno, when you get the 7 layers of hell.
Yeah,
Or 12
yeah.
layers
7
of-
circle. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you also get the notion of Lucifer being a fallen angel. That's not in the Bible.
No?
Yeah.
Like at all?
No.
He's just not in there?
Well, no, but he is in the Bible. I know I think he shows up in the Quran
He's
more.
a minor character.
He shows up in different Abrahamic religions more. Like his name
Yeah.
is Satanel in the Quran in Arabic, and he shows up more.
Okay.
But in the Bible, the only time you ever see Satan is in the Garden of Eden when he appears as a snake.
Oh, right.
If he is a he might not be a he. It's a demon. They're genderless.
Right.
And then when Jesus goes into the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights, he's tempted by Satan.
Right. But so
Right.
Satan is Lucifer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, Lucifer is just another name for Satan.
Okay.
Satan, I think.
I'm
Just
like,
means,
I don't remember any of this
Satan
in
just
Catholic
means,
school.
Yeah, I paid attention in Catholic
Yeah, I'm
school.
glad
'cause
somebody did, I guess.
because it was the neat shit. A lot, like most of it's just like,
Hunter has an
this is-
obsession with cults because of her religious trauma.
I have a thing with Mormons. I have a thing with I have a thing with Abrahamic religions.
Yeah.
It's an interest of mine.
Yeah, a special interest. Born from the Catholic school trauma.
Yeah, but yeah, so he shows up a lot more in the Quran than he does in the Christian Bible. But like demons show up a lot.
Yeah.
So like Jesus casts a demon from a child and the demon goes into the pig and the pig jumps off a cliff. Later you see a demon pig in a later episode, in the 4th episode.
Yeah.
Or no,
Angel
3rd.
does.
Yeah, Angel has
yeah,
a pet demon pig, and I wonder if that's a reference to that Bible story.
Okay.
But
interesting. So.
I feel like I was making a so like
I don't know what
yeah,
we were
so
talking
Lucifer and the fallen angel stuff, that's all like religious fan fiction to my understanding.
So I do think.
Is anybody still in the stream after that?
Yeah, there's 24
Okay.
people in this stream.
It went
don't
up.
worry.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry. They're here. They're here. What I was gonna say is I do think that there's something deeply suspicious about Adam's recounting of events. Also, we should be okay to swear now, but I will try to keep it. I don't want to like keep it at a minimum, as in like we're afraid of YouTube. But I do wonder if maybe a certain word that rhymes with Hunter may have gotten us demonetized last time because it was in the episode, not because we said it. And so anyway. Yeah. So,
What did we watch with the C word?
This!
Oh!
This had the C word in it! I checked, I looked back,
dear.
and yeah, anyway, so we'll do our best to keep it all clean in here. So, I think that Adam's retelling of events is deeply suspicious. I think that he also ate the apple and he just lied. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting, because here's what I think the canon story is in terms of what happens here, right? Is that Lucifer and Lilith fall in love, right? And they don't want Eve to suffer the same way that Lilith did. So they give her the fruit to free her so she doesn't have to be under Adam's willpower anymore. But I think he ate it too.
Here's another piece of Bible trivia from good old Hunter, is that oftentimes people refer to Adam and Eve as biting the apple. But in the Bible, it's just called the fruit of knowledge.
Okay.
The reason why it's often called an apple is that apple was in English. Apple just used to mean any fruit.
Oh.
In a lot of Germanic languages.
And then we discovered more fruit.
Yeah. And so, for example, so in French, a pomme is an apple. And a pomme de terre is a potato, palm of the earth.
Right,
apple of the earth. It just means fruit. So although it is often, shown as an apple, it could be any fruit, or it's probably its own magic fruit. It could be a pomegranate. It's never a banana.
No,
you know?
well,
never a banana.
Because though you have to think about the fruit that people had access to in that time period, which I have absolutely no idea. So I'm not gonna say what
apples was bananas. That's
Peel in the chat with the banana peel profile picture is learning so much right now. It's not a banana.
Pineapples, I don't think were available.
Yeah, I mean, because you have to think about it I don't know, it seems so silly, but if you only ever had apples, why wouldn't you just have one word for all fruit? Because you're never going to run into any other fruit. It's when you run into other fruit that you're like, okay, well, wait a minute, we got to differentiate here, buddy.
I would abandon God for a watermelon.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Watermelons are delicious.
What's your favorite? Chat, please contribute what your favorite fruit is. Mine...
I love a pomegranate. It's pomegranate, mangoes, watermelon.
I like watermelon, apples, and bananas. I don't like cherries.
Cherries, yeah.
I don't like pomegranate.
I love them all.
I can't have oranges as the orange. I can only have orange as the juice because I don't like the white things on the orange. So.
Moving forward.
Hunter's like, this is gonna be a short stream. We're just gonna get right into it. Oh my god.
It has to be. I gotta go home and feed my dog.
I know. Don't worry. Okay, yeah. So I think that maybe there's some suspicious. Oh, grapes. Grapes are good. You guys are right. Yeah, apple and banana based. Yeah, I like a cantaloupe too.
What if a prickly pear is the demonic fruit of knowledge, and I've just never eaten a prickly pear, and I've gotten off scot-free?
So evil found its way to Earth. Okay, great. And within it, a new realm of darkness and sin. In the order heaven had worked to maintain was shattered. Yeah, see, so you have these same 4 people again, right? Especially this one who has very distinctive hair.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering about that.
She looks like a whole ass a Pantene commercial.
Oh my god, yeah. And so as punishment, heaven cast Lucifer and Lilith into hell.
At them so hard
So that's what happened. So heaven didn't like that they were. Oh wait, hold on. That's my future note. And so hell is a punishment for Lucifer because he can only be around bad people, and now as an angel, he can never see the good that came from humanity because he's around all the sinners. That was something I didn't quite understand at first. So I think that's important clarification. Is that Lucifer he thought that giving free will would help. And it did, but he doesn't know about it because he only sees the bad result from his free will, not any of the good result. And now Lucifer is a deadbeat dad, who went to the store and never came back because he's sad, I suppose. Because I think that that's what we're getting at, like, when we see Lucifer in future episodes, is that he's kind of, they do say that Valentino says that we could be as rich as your father. So I feel like that Lucifer just kind of, I don't know, sits around and plays video games all day is kind of what I'm imagining, is that he doesn't do anything. Like, he's just chilling because his dreams are dashed and he doesn't really care about anything anymore. So that's the vibe that I'm getting right now. But yeah, so Lilith is like, yeah, let's go, Westy. She was having a good time, and the numbers in hell grew, and so did its power.
I love how she looks. She's just so creepy and and glowing and floating and red and she is girl
horns. Boss. Lucifer is girl failure. So threatened by this, heaven decided to do the exterminations, right? And then you have Adam coming into the scene. However, we should take note and we should notice, right, that there is, like, we have the Pantene angel, right, of who we aren't entirely sure who this is.
Yeah.
And
she keeps appearing, so my assumption is that she shows up.
It's important, because there's Adam, but he doesn't look like she does, right? And so I think that there's something suspicious about that, and we don't necessarily know who it is yet, but I have a feeling, and we'll talk about this a little later, because I brought it up in my notes, and by the time we get to it, I'll have short-term memory loss, but I was thinking that maybe Adam is not as sinless as he's leading us to believe, and rather, this is Adam's punishment for his participation in the garden scenario, and his job is now exterminate the sinners, and we will eventually, he's in purgatory, basically. That's where he is. He's not actually an angel, because if you look at his design compared to the real angels, there's some inconsistency. So I think that Adam and then Lut and all of those people, the exterminators or the exorcists or whatever, it's that they're being promised, oh, you guys do this for us and we'll let you back into heaven, and it's never going to happen. So I think that there's something going on. I think there's something going on with that. But what else did I say? Heaven didn't like they were having a good time, because Lucifer's supposed to be having a punishment, but instead they're having fun. That is what I wrote. And so obviously right here you see Lut in the background too. And see, because they're in a different coloration compared to the angels too, it gives the vibe that they are not the same, that there's something different, right? And then we have Charlie, obviously. That Lilith's hope has been passed down into Charlie. And that's the whole, like, storybook situation. The only other thing I added, and I think everybody's pretty much noticed this, is that Alastor also disappeared 7 years ago. They did it really heavy-handed, though. Like, oh, like, did you hear from your mom today, out of today, instead of, no, it's been 7 years. Like, oof. How long has it been now? And I'm just like, okay, guys, like, you guys could have written this a little bit better.
I love how she's animated, though, as like, oh, it's fine.
I mean, I agree. I just thought it was like...
Also, I love the contrast between
it's been 7 years.
The smoke and the fire and the wreckage behind her and them just kind of sitting here.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's because if we're talking about capitalism, okay, it seems like that Charlie has a certain level of privilege where she is never in danger of this, right? And so do maybe the other overlords to some extent. And so it's interesting that there's a class hierarchy with the poor, I don't know, the bourgeoisie and the rich, like the ultra rich, like there's some sort of a hierarchy, some sort of tier going on. But I don't think that I had anything to say about this section other than it seems like Lucifer may be a neglectful father in the sense that he gave the fuck up after getting sent down here, if you know what I mean. Maybe Charlie wants her father to dream again and see that humans are good, or see the good in humans that heaven doesn't want him to see. And then we have some stuff about Alastor, which means I think that we're out of this scene, but we'll just we'll just keep going, I guess. But yeah, she's been gone off doing something for 7 years, bestie. But yeah, do you have anything else?
She went to get some milk, and it's been a while, but the shops, sometimes it's hard to find milk.
I mean, we do get a nice shot of the Heaven Embassy, though, if we're talking about this
I also
opening.
like how it has a giant hourglass in it, presumable counting down to the next time
it happens, which is just fun. Like, that's just
which
screwed
is
up.
horrific.
Okay, so we're just gonna skip past Alastor's commercial because even though it's hilarious, it is not.
There is a scene in Alastor's commercial, which is great, when it shows a demon stabbing another demon, and then they get the attention, and the demon that got stabbed is not rising in agony.
As she tries to work through her daddy issues by fixing you. I did think that was funny, but yeah, we can't. I don't know. Some of this was just not YouTube friendly or whatever, and so.
Yeah, that's the other thing about this show is that it's decidedly like they're not as concerned about obviously, Hell of a Boss gets away with a lot, is not super concerned about being advertiser friendly, but now that this one's on Prime, it's does not care
I love
whatsoever.
Alastor so much. His delivery is constantly, he's definitely one of my favorite characters in the show. Too bad his song's not better, but anyway. So they've been here for over a week, which means that the pilot is still canon, which is very interesting because I don't know, it's not that I didn't think it was canon anymore, but I thought there was stuff in the pilot that directly conflicts with the stuff in the episode, so maybe it's
well, they never bring up the whole culling hell thing, and
yeah, not to the same degree, at least, right? And so he hasn't been active for quite some time, which is an interesting thing to say. I don't know.
I will say that they have posted the first episode of Hazbin Hotel
on YouTube.
On VisiPop's channel, I believe. So I think they are trying to bridge the YouTube experience to the Amazon Prime experience.
But I think that for the most part, do you have anything else that you wanted to
about the opening
talk
scene?
about? I think the only other thing I wrote down was Angel Dust's line of this body was made to be exploited has very different connotations now that we've seen episode 4. We thought he was joking, but he's kind of not. He's not joking.
Maybe being a little honest with us, and we just can't tell yet.
Yeah, but there was something else interesting that happened here was about Husk, which maybe happened later? Oh, no, I think it's right now. It's then, okay, so why can't he just make people stay here? Which, first of all, you can't just, he can, which I thought was funny. And I do like the horns and the antlers and everything. But Husk says, why do you think I'm here? You think I'd actually be cleaning bottles and listening? Oh, boy. I mean, that's fine. Bitch and moan all the time if he wasn't forcing me to. And so, yeah, then we have the lines with Nifty. But, see, that's something that it's we could have been theorizing for weeks. We could have been theorizing for weeks about what that was in terms of the idea that Husk was being forced to stay there and why, but now we already know. It's interesting, though, okay, because this is what I'm confused about. You guys were saying that Alastor was always an overlord and that he didn't switch places with Husk. He just, controls Husk's soul, but, Husk doesn't go to the meetings or anything, so has he been stripped? Does Alastor have 2 seats on the Elysian Council? Does he hold 2 seats on the council, or does he only hold the seat that he has? Is he more powerful now, or is he just waiting for the day that he can get Husk to do something he doesn't want to do? Is it that he also controls Husk's portion of hell, whatever that situation is? Because later on they say you all are here because you represent millions of souls. You own millions of souls, and that, we have to talk about our interests in terms of the extermination, which is the other thing that I'm the only reason why these people care in terms of Carmela and stuff is because, and I was thinking about that, I was well, why do they care? Why do they care? But they care because if there's no one in hell, there's no one to buy their shit, and they won't be rich anymore. So again, there's some capitalism happening, at least I think so, right? But,
it is interesting that all the demons seem to not so much represent an individual sin, but an industry.
Yeah.
Right? One of them's an arms manufacturer, one of them's television, one of them's radio, one of them
it makes sense that there would just be industries that you have in reality.
Yeah,
though,
but I just find
it
it interesting that ultimately their power comes from their participation in the kind of marketplace
Yeah.
And the kind of in capitalism in hell, which is maybe adds to the sort of to your point of
to the theory
this being about capitalism.
But yeah, like I'm just a little confused about the Husk situation, you know what I mean? But yeah, and so something interesting, like just because nobody's made it out before doesn't mean it's not possible. And I think that's interesting, just because when you talk about people making it out, usually it's like, you know, in, oh god, what is it? In The Heights, she says, one of the characters, she has a whole song about how she's I think she's at Harvard, I don't know, she's at one of those, like the rich people schools on a full scholarship, and she's like flunking every class because she's having just a hard time at school and whatever, and she wants to quit, and she's like, I'm the one who made it out, I can't quit because I'm the only one in my family, right? And so it's, I don't want to say like slums because that's not exactly what I mean, but you hear it in relation, especially in terms of, you know, older shows and stuff. It's like, oh, like you made it out. They're talking about like the ghetto and stuff, and I you know, I don't think that that's exactly the right word for this, but I'm like, nobody's made it out before. What's happening? Like, there's so many. It seems like that there is a metaphor going on. I know the show is about redemption, but it doesn't mean it can't be about capitalism. Also, I think we skipped right over some of this too, because we're talking about Adam in my notes. And so, okay. He said the leader of the angel army wants to meet. See, because that's interesting, because that implies to me that Adam's not the leader of all of the angels. He's just the leader of the army. Because later on, Charlie says something different where he's just the leader of the angels, but maybe that's just supposed to be an inconsistency in terms of her knowledge, because that implies to me that there are angels above Adam, and this is just his division.
Well, I mean, I believe there is like a hierarchy of angels.
Yeah. But I wonder, because I don't know, at first when we watched this episode, I was like, does Adam lead everything? Like all of that? Like everybody? But I think that, I don't know, I'm kind of getting the vibe that maybe Adam and the exterminators, or what are they, exorcists? Like, they're in trouble.
Yeah, they're called
They got
exorcists.
in trouble, and that they all have to kill people, basically, to redeem themselves for their sins. Or just a shorthand. Yeah, exactly. And so I think that may just be for the army. And I'm like, that could be spicy. If later on we find out that Adam's not even... I mean, I never thought he was gonna be the big bad. He seems like he's gonna be a season 1 exclusive.
Yeah.
To me, anyway. That's what it seems like. But I think that that's interesting. So maybe Adam will have either been exposed for having lied about what happened with Eve, or that he's only doing this because he got caught, but they gave him a... You know what I mean? They gave him a pass. Like, they were like, you can redeem yourself if you do this for us. She wasn't originally aware that he was Adam, and he's, oh, okay, yeah. So Hell might just think he's the one who's in charge. Yeah, I think that you guys are right in the chat. In terms of Charlie's song, because I'm just gonna cover this up because some of the lyrics are a little suspicious. Not suspicious in a bad way. They're suspicious as in, you know, swearing, and there was a word, I'm not gonna say what the word was because that'll definitely be a problem, but there was a word in the song where I didn't know what it meant, and so I looked it up thinking it was just... I don't know, like cannibalism or something like that. It was not, and it was in my search history. It was a bad word, and I was just like, oh god. So I'm gonna do a video about all of the songs individually. That's where we're at right now. If you guys just tuned into the stream, we're at the song part. I think I'll probably just skip to the very last frame. So I'm not gonna talk about it too much because I do want to do individual videos,
really
but it's a
great
good song.
Yes.
I think that it's one of the strongest ones in the show. I think that I would love to, after the season's over, to rank all of the songs.
That would be
I think that would be fun.
Get a tier list out.
Yeah, get a tier list, exactly, but I think that, I think that this one definitely has, what did I write? The strongest lyrics. It has a nice mix of nostalgic instruments. Like, they definitely tried to make it sound like a Disney song, but also it sounds like Bring It On.
It reminds me of the song from Beauty and the Beast where she's
walking
walking
like the
through
mob song.
Or no, when she's walking through...
Or, oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
The
her small
town,
provincial town.
Yeah. But, like, it's interesting because it doesn't actually use the same... It doesn't actually use the same instrumentation as any Disney songs. Like, it does, obviously, in terms of the instruments, but, like, there's no Disney song that sounds like this. there's Disney songs that do this, but not that exactly sound like this. And so I think it's actually closer in terms of how it sounds to, like, Bring It On or something like that. Are we still only on the first episode? Yes. We are. We had to talk about lore. Don't worry about it. But we're already halfway through.
Yeah,
we're on song 1, so
now.
we are cruising, I think. But yeah, what I was gonna say was, it sounds like something like Bring It On, or just when people try to imitate Disney music. I don't know. There's a whole show. I think it's called Between the Lines is the name of the whole show, but like there's a song from it called Another Chapter, and it's about a girl who gets sucked into a fairy tale story, and that's how this song sort of sounds. So yeah, it has that like Mean Girls, but also Disney song, like, hybrid sound, and I thought that was really cool. But we will keep going to the Adam conversation, because like I said, I have beef with some of the songs. But yeah, okay, so that was just a sign-in. That was not, like, an actual contract, so that's good. But yes, let's talk about Adam and Loot right now. Yeah, so Adam eating ribs totally, like, neither of us clocked
Notice that, but it's very,
the first time.
very
like, it's funny now. She still has blood on her. Like, it's fresh. Like, she just finished work. There is an interesting theory going around as well, which, like I said, short-term memory loss, so I'll probably mention twice that Vaggie is a former whatever these people are, because
exorcist.
she has the same cross over her eye, and I think that would be, like, that's an interesting enemies to lovers idea.
But Vaggie, if you really look at Vaggie, it's because she wears a eye patch.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah, if
it's
you
an
look,
eye patch?
if you look, there's some
But
screens
it
where
could
she
be
looks
the
like
hiding.
Maybe,
yeah.
so it's like, I'm sure that the eye patch, not like, she can have an eye patch and it can just be a thing, but I wonder if there's some backstory there.
We'll definitely talk about this during episode 3, because the fact that you're wondering if there's a backstory is, bad. It's bad in relation to Vaggie's song, because that's when they should have given us the backstory, is in her musical number, and I'm kind of still mad about it, but, there are some interesting ideas going around that, at the very least, it sounds like that she had some sort of, also there's the angelic spear that she has, exactly, like the harpoon, it's all getting very suspicious. I totally lost my train of thought. Oh, that Vaggie is, at least she was in the military, because she's like, this is how I learned to trust my brothers in arms or whatever, my comrades, right? So it implies that either she was a soldier in some capacity, I think. I love her design, though. I think that she's great. Adam, I mean, he's a man. I don't know what to tell you. But I love Loot. We did not get the rib joke. But yeah, he's like an asshole. Like, he's just so unlikable. Like, I don't think there's any redeeming quality about him except for the fact that he's, like, his voice actor is Beetlejuice and everything. At first, he was like, okay, he was just, like, kind of like Jude from Total Drama Island, but then he got into, like, really...
Jude from 16.
Oh, sorry, from 16. And then also Chris from Total Drama Island is what I meant. You know, it reminded me, well, their voice actors are the same.
Their voice actors are the same, but the voice is themselves very different.
But yeah, and so I thought he was like, oh, okay, he's just a surfer dude. And then he started talking more about, like, women. And how he talks about women is obviously not very nice and good.
But, like, I'm not the first person to bring up the notion of, like, weird aspects about the sort of Genesis creation stories being kind of sexist.
Well,
women are created from men, are expected to be subservient to men.
Yeah, and I think that that's what they were going for, right? Also, okay, I just need to point out, I know that you guys can't hear anything because we have screenshots, but Alastor makes, when he does that, he sounds exactly like the Minecraft! He sounds exactly like the Minecraft
villagers?
Yeah, he sounds like, Somebody made a video, let me see if I can't find it,
That's
it's okay,
I'll
just leave it, because obviously, like we said, we're trying to... We're on a time crunch. We're not on a crunch, but we're just on the time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so if I can't find it, it's okay, but I'm pretty sure I saved it because I thought it was so funny. I was losing my mind. It wasn't just the villagers. They compared it to every other sound effect that it could have been made of, and I truly, like, I wonder, did the voice actor do it? Like, did he do the little Minecraft noise, or was it a sound effect? cute. I just love Alastor. Like I said, I think that he's quickly not my favorite character. I like V a lot, but just in the sense that he is so effortlessly funny, I think it's just really good. Anything else, Hunter, about their little plot to try to shoot the commercial while I look for this?
It was a cute little distraction, but I feel like because like typically a B plot, you know, it intersects with an A plot, but this, like, right when you think that they're going to intersect later, when Charlie sees the video, it cuts to something completely different.
Yeah.
So the B plot never totally, like, pans out in a way.
Oh, I found it. So this was Superstar Minty's TikTok, okay? Let me put the volume up. And it's what was that noise? And it's just the villager. I'll show you guys. And I'm like, is that not hilarious? That's exactly what it sounded like, and I was dying. Oh my god, I was crying.
I love
wait,
how people can pick out such a small, minute, weird thing.
I know, but it's just so fun. Like, I don't know, it's just so funny. But yeah, and so then I think that it's funny too how they have this, like, weird, like, script. Obviously, I can't show you guys. So this is just, okay, this is such a nitpick, but he says, well, you come. That's not grammatically correct. It should be you've come to the right place, if that's what they were trying. I know it's a joke, but I'm like, Husk, can you really not read that badly? You know what I mean? Like, to the right place. That's just, I wish that they made that joke a little bit more clever, because it's not, I don't know, like, it loses some of its cleverness when you had to stretch beyond the reasonable rules of grammar to try to make it funny. But yeah, I feel like, Husk, I'm like, you can't memorize, you have one line, Husk, it's gonna be okay. But yeah, I do think it was kind of jarring, though, how they, like, cut from the commercial. They were, like, 5 seconds into that scene, and then we're back to Adam. It seems like he talks about playing a gig, and what's a virtue chick mean? Does that just mean, like, is that gonna be a heaven reference? Like, are there...
I don't know, well, because there's like the 7 heavenly virtues or whatever.
Oh, okay.
So maybe a virtue chick is someone who represents one of those.
But see, the way he's talking about this, I'm like, okay, well, maybe he hasn't been totally kicked out of heaven then, like we thought. Like, maybe he isn't in purgatory if he's, like, playing shows or whatever. This was just a funny moment where she just shakes her head, like, it was
He's
so
like, yeah,
funny.
boss, it's fucked up. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, like, I don't know what to tell you, boss. But yeah, again, Adam, definitely frat bro, as the chat is saying. But then he says that he got the ussy anyway, so that was his weekend. That's what he's at. He's doing small talk. This was his recent weekend, so I do wonder if it's supposed to be like, well, wait a minute. Is it that to contrast the fact that he's just seemingly living a very casual life while they're being exterminated? Or is that to give us some context clues that he hasn't totally been kicked out of society? Because I do feel like either one of those is going to be right. The idea that he's being forced to do this because of his sin, or the fact that he lied about sinning and at the end he's going to get kicked out or something like that. But I do think he's just going to be a season 1, maybe a season 2 villain, since we're only at episode 4. I don't think that he's a long-term... I think that he's a temporary antagonist, right? Hunter?
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah, I would argue. Yeah, I don't think he's the big bad.
Hunter is disassociated.
I'm not disassociating. But you're right. Like, he's kind of small potatoes.
Yeah, and so we're pretty much gonna skip by.
I do like his song. It feels very like rock opera.
We aren't there quite yet. I thought that the gag with Nifty, I didn't find it very funny.
I thought it was super
hilarious,
funny. So... Nifty is so cute. She's my favorite of the new characters that you don't see very much in the pilot. But just the idea that she's so excited and she's trying her best. And when she gives, like, the death eye, that's her trying her best, which leads me to believe that, like, no, that's something. She's being useful somehow. They just don't know how she's being useful.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Right? So, like, I just like her energy, you know?
I mean, you thought she was, like, hypnotizing people. And
yeah, like Hypnotoad from Futurama.
But yeah, I was like, I saw this going around, like, look at how funny Hazbin Hotel can be when there's, like, no swearing. You don't need to swear every sentence to be funny. And then somebody used this clip, and I was like, you guys could have picked something else. I don't think it was that funny. But that's just me, right? I mean, humor is subjective, right? But I do like how Nifty's just not doing, like, she's not Nifty. Vaggie is not doing so hot. But, like, how would she edit this, by the way? Like, this is a camcorder. This is not, like, you're not opening up, like, Premiere
I'm sure
Pro.
She owns a laptop.
I guess
hell,
so.
you pirate all Adobe products.
But you know what
Adobe would sell their products in hell.
Like, what is this supposed to be? You know, anyway. And so I love Alastor. Like, why are you even here for entertainment? It's very interesting because there's a couple other references to why is Alastor around Charlie, and we'll talk more about that when we get into episode 2. But it's like, why is Alastor here? Like, functionally, why is he here? Why does he care? Like, what does he get out of being here? Because he says it's for entertainment, and then to Zestial, he says he likes to keep people guessing. I also think Zestial's a massive gossip, and Carmela probably shouldn't have told him what happened, because I think that he likes to know what the tea is, and that may become a problem later. But I do like their little deal right here, because it doesn't seem like a major, like, it doesn't seem like Vaggie actually gave her soul away or anything, but it does seem still a little suspicious. And I do like his, like, face was made for radio, the glitchiness and everything like that. But if maybe that's why, like, this would recontextualize the fact that they make a deal together, because she stands up to Alastor, and maybe they're on a more equal level, because if she was an exorcist, that means that she's the only one who can kill a demon. And so he kind of does have to stay. It's not a one-sided deal then, you know, because they have to say, he has to stay on her good side. Because something else that Zestial says is that, like, oh, people thought that you fell into holy arms. And we sort of took that in our little theory crafting session 2 hours ago when we rewatched all the episodes. I was like, does that mean, like, that he fell in love with an angel? But it could also be that he fell as in they thought somebody killed him. They thought that he died. So maybe he got hurt and he's been chilling for the last 7 years, and that's why he has such a vested interest. Alastor would be so pissed if he knew he was on a TV show. That's so funny. Well, it's an animated show, so maybe that makes it different. You know what I mean?
Maybe
it's
he
like
likes
you would imagine, you know, when people do actor
he
AUs, right?
wants Hazbin Hotel to be a podcast.
Yeah.
He's an audio girly.
But you know what I mean? Like, it would be that this is Alastor animated, and the real Alastor is still, his face is still protected, so that would be okay. But yeah, so you never asked me to engage with this frivolous television technology ever again. I wonder if this is somehow gonna come up later, where they need, like, what if television technology also means with Vox or something? And so, I mean, not to say that Vox is gonna come and kill them or something like that, I don't know. Like, but what if at one point Vox tries to do something to them and Alastor's like, oh no, remember, you said that, I said that you cannot make me engage with the television technology, and Vox is a literal television. I don't know. I'm just thinking that there may have been more to this, because I don't know. Like, it seems a lot more sinister than just, like, I'll do this for you this once, but don't ask me to do it again, right? It seems like very low stakes, and I feel like that Alastor's always operating at high stakes. And then you have Adam, again, back to the Adam scene. She's killed 275 demons, which doesn't seem like a lot.
I mean, she's
compared
one,
to, like,
and it's implied
population.
that there's
Yeah,
swarms
true.
of them.
That
so,
is
like,
true.
If they're all doing numbers in the 200s, like,
I have not seen these episodes, Dar. Please, they've been out for a week now. There's gonna be 2 more that comes out tonight. You gotta get on it. I don't know what to tell you. But yes, thank you for moderating the chat. But yeah, like, he's just such a asshole. Human souls, just the same as the ones that you have up in heaven. And I thought that that was interesting, because then she goes on a little, they're not the same, they had their chance and they earned their damnation. Sinners made mistakes, sure, but everybody makes mistakes. Angels don't make mistakes. And that's interesting, because then you have Adam, right? And I feel like that this is so not going to be true. You know what I mean? The only reason you're still here is because Daddy gave you and your hellborn kind a pardon from the exorcist blade. When she says Daddy, is she talking about, like, God? Because
Lucifer?
I don't think that she's talking about
I think
Lucifer. She's
talking
saying
about
Daddy
Lucifer.
gave them a pardon. So Lucifer didn't give himself a pardon.
Is it because Daddy gave you and your hellborn kind? Oh yeah, so I guess
like,
they're talking about God.
God! Are we gonna see, like, God? Because usually, like, when shows do God, they kind of, like, leave Jesus out of it. Like, it's like the angels are fair game, but I don't think Jesus was ever in Supernatural. You know what I'm saying? So, like,
Satan
usually,
was,
like, they don't depict, like, God. I would love to see what furry God and furry Jesus are supposed to be in the
It's Vizzy Pop. It's Vizzy Pop, so they would be Latino and they'd be furries.
The only reason Lucifer is in hell is because he made a mistake. Exactly. So, doesn't that prove if angels don't make mistakes, how did Lucifer make a mistake, huh? Sussy. That's what I'm thinking anyway. Angels don't make mistakes. Adam says he's never made a mistake, which is definitely foreshadowing to the Eve story being sus. I guess Charlie is also still considered an angel based on what Lute says.
What if her mom is not actually Lilith? What if it's Eve?
Ooh. But what narrative function would that have?
Like some kind of twisteroonie?
Yeah, but like, does that make Charlie a full angel, or does that make her half human? Like, you know what I mean?
I guess it would make her a full angel. Maybe it would have something to do with, oh god, maybe that's where she's been. She's been in heaven because she was.
Oh, like Eve has been in heaven? Oh, okay.
Perhaps, who knows?
That'd be interesting if somehow
I'm just
Eve
spitballing
made
at
it
this
to
point.
heaven. And then Adam is
Because, like, we see Adam, where's Eve?
Well, yeah, I mean, some people think they're looking for Eve so they can get to the real story of what happened. That's what people think Alastor and Lilith were doing. But the question is why Alastor is back and Lilith isn't.
The also reason why Lucifer is not being honest if they want the real truth. Like, wouldn't...
What do you mean?
Like, because if Lucifer was there for all of it.
Right.
So, and Lucifer's still here, presumably.
Yeah.
So, you could just ask him, unless he's a little distant.
I mean, I guess Lucifer, though, nobody would believe him anyway.
I love how excited,
Charlie, there's
Charlie
a nice little drawing with a
Charlie
rainbow.
is when she's pitching her plan with her little crayon drawings.
Yeah, I know. That
so
is
wonderful.
really cute.
Charlie's a really enjoyable character, I will say.
If you're gonna do Christian theology, you should show Jesus. Jesus is the most thematic and compelling part of the whole religion. I don't know why everyone ignores it. I mean, I guess it's just to avoid offending people,
Yeah,
I suppose,
you can get away with, like, crazy...
You can get away with, like, Gabriel. No one gives a fuck, right?
Well, you can get away with a lot of the, like, Lucifer falling, because that's not even in the Bible, as we previously mentioned.
But
so
people
I feel like that's...
get touchy about Jesus.
People... Jesus.
About Jesus.
Don't get us started on the other guys.
Maybe Eve was the first victim of the exterminations. That's interesting. But that means then what were they doing for the last 7 years? Because we thought that they were looking for Eve. So on the Adam song, like I said, I want to talk about the music kind of separately. However, I thought that the song was kind of forgettable. It kind of just, like, it was a good song, but it definitely wasn't, like, it did not stick in my head at all. You know?
It was fun. It had a kind of rock opera vibe. It felt like something, Jack Black would sing.
Yeah,
in the movie.
Like in School of Rock, you're talking about?
Or it kind of reminds me of the dad scene, or Meatloaf scene in Kickapoo in the Tenacious D movie, which is a Jack Black film.
Yeah.
Has a similar kind of like growly rock opera vibe. Kind of like Aquafina, or the other rock opera about the kid who was really good at pinball, even though he was blind and deaf.
I'll have to be honest, I have absolutely no clue what you're talking about,
Pinball
but
wizard.
I understand what you're talking about. It sounds like School of Rock.
Yes.
Or just, I mean, the voice is, it's Beetlejuice, right? I hate the song, oh, Dar. Yeah, I mean, I don't love the song.
It's not the best
song. It's not the best
Not the worst song either.
It's not the worst one, because there are worse. There are definitely worse ones.
I will say that okay, so this song is better than
I love
the
this
Vox
lyrics too.
Radio Demon song,
And when
but the
it's-
Vox Radio Demon song is at least more like
Catchy.
not catchy, but it's like it tries to do more.
Oh, I see.
Like it's more ambitious, where this song kind of plays it safe.
I think the Vox and Alastor song has catchy instrumental and bad lyrics, whereas this song has good lyrics and a boring, like broadly boring instrumental. Because I do like this. I like when it's all said and done, there's the question of fun. I think that, and for those of us with divine ordainment, extermination is entertainment, like they kind of popped off right there. That's a good set. Like there's nice alliteration, the rhyme is really nice. I think so. Is it nice?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice, yeah, because we have ordainment and entertainment, so both of their the middle sections of them both rhyme, which is the important part of the rhyme. But yeah, Stage Gone is bad. So we'll talk about that another time, because I made a whole video on it and I'm working on editing it right now. But yeah, the Adam song, it's okay, but like instrumentally, it's just not great. Like it just doesn't really do anything. I like how they say that the rules are black and white, and then so are obviously the exorcist demons. That's interesting, right? But yeah, in terms of the instrumental, there's nothing interesting there. And I like that this is the first time that we see that Charlie starts to
turn into a demon, and you kind of
Yeah.
get a good look at her.
She has
grows
horns.
Yeah, I kind of want to see her go pure, fully demon. I think that would be a lot of fun.
I hope so.
Mhm.
And I love how it says, fuck you, I do what I want on the little golden paper, but I do love the golden angels. Oh, that was a bad word. Anyway, it's okay. We can have some bad words. We can have little a bad word as a tree. We just can't have too many. But yeah, I do like this scene, though, that when Charlie's really feeling bad,
Wait,
they
move back for a second. You see there, she has a,
Is it? I thought that
Yeah.
it was just that her eye is,
I feel
like, not a patch, but it's just closed.
There's definitely
you know
at
what I
one
mean?
point you see a strap.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't see the strap
The
right
strap's
now.
not quite there, but like, yeah, you see that there's something covering it.
And so I think that, I just thought that that was her eye closed. Like, I thought that that was, like, blindness. Like, how they were depicting her, like, that you can't see out of that eye. But, yeah, the commercial, I do like how this episode ends, but then they don't actually get to see what it was, because we have the breaking news story. Holy shit, the extermination is happening. It's
6 months
confirmed.
early.
Fuck, we all dead. Soon. Why does this always happen? Like, that was what was going on.
Also,
in
the person who
rule.
voices Kate Killjoy is the same person that voices Blitzo.
Yeah.
In Hell of a Boss, which is a fun little crossover.
Do they voice Vox too? I thought that they did, but
I'm not sure. Maybe.
I'm not sure. But yeah, then you have the spacecraft, right? Which is super. I like how the head is gone, though. That was a nice piece of foreshadowing. So Lute says that they found the body. They've never managed to kill one of us before, and that's why we should just go down there and destroy them. No, we can't let them risk catching on. So see, this is also why it's sort of suspicious too that he's in an aircraft, which makes me think that he was just sent off on a spaceship all alone. There won't be a demon left alive to pull a stunt like this, and then you have Adam ending the episode. So, so part of the reason for the extermination being moved up is because somebody managed to kill an angel and they were worried about hell fighting back and whatnot. Someone has an interesting theory that it's not your sins that decide where you go in terms of heaven or hell, but it's actually your guilt, which is why bad people like Adam end up in heaven, because he doesn't feel guilty. And by contrast, that's why people like Angel Dust in later episodes is caught up in his own head believing it's impossible to change. He still feels shame, and that's why he's in hell. Whereas maybe if you're entirely shameless, you go to heaven, and then there's proof that they can be redeemed because they feel guilt. What do you think about that as I change out our screenshots over here?
That's a feasibility, right? I don't know. It feels like everyone's like, it is weird that Adam, because Adam did a bad thing, he was cast out of Eden for it, he was punished for it. Like,
yeah.
it's, you know, he's yeah, it's. So I guess maybe it makes a certain
But
amount of
even
sense.
regardless of that, he's
But it could,
shitty person.
Yeah, he's
like,
a
just
shitty
in
person,
general.
but it could just be like an internal inconsistency in the show, perhaps not exactly representative. Like, it might just be a plot contrivance.
Right.
It might not be a whole big...
But I did think that was interesting because if you think about Angel Dust does feel shame about himself, clearly. I don't know, about himself now and his life before. So if he was entirely guiltless, would he go to heaven? I don't know. Because somebody basically, the idea is that your soul weighs itself, and it's not weighed on the sins that you committed, but rather how you feel about them, and that's the hole in heaven system, is that they made it that way so there would be, I don't know, some sort of automation, but the automation eventually, like, fucks up without human judgment because what they're judging is how guilty someone is, and sometimes, like, a billionaire who exploited a bunch of people while they were on Earth, does that person go to heaven because they don't feel guilty about what they did? You know, because it's interesting that we don't have any billionaires, we have prostitutes and drug addicts and whatever, right? So I do think that there's something with that. There was another theory, though. There's another theory going around. Oh, I think I read this already, but I'll reiterate it again just in case you weren't here before. There's a theory going around that Adam and the Exorcist aren't real angels and that this is their punishment. So they're sort of a middleman, like they're fighting for heaven's approval on the false hope that one day they will be let back in. They are chilling somewhere else. I suppose that is in the airship. I wonder if this is broadcast to heaven too, just because how they said that it was fun. Like, I feel like by the end of the season, the extermination aspect will be over or something, and that the redemption plotline will still be going. So I'm basically, the idea is that they will stop the exterminations and heaven will back the heck off, and then they will still do the redemption plotline, though, because people still have to have somewhere to go. And I think I basically skipped over, like, the opening in terms of Charlie being stressed out, but there is an interesting thing with Angel Dust, and you can see the foreshadowing about Val, because, like, get that fat bony ass back to the studio, baby! You can see the ideas are flowing. It's been 30 seconds. Don't be like this. This isn't cute, Angel. I'm legit bored. Get over here. Like, just,
I just love how
he's
it's
so toxic.
Very, by like, he swings back and forth from extreme anger. Also, that guy looks like Roman Torchwick. But I think I pointed that out when I watched it. But, like, yeah, hat, little bowler, ginger. I wonder if that was intentional. But yeah, I enjoy how it, which is kind of like when you deal with people who are like that, they often swing back from like, oh, like fawning over you to being very angry with you.
My other crack theory is that maybe Serpentis killed the demon and doesn't realize it, because they're kind of doing this trope with like, he's incompetent, you know what I mean? And, like, he's a girl failure, so what if, like, he actually killed the demon? Because they say Carmela knows it was her weapons, but did she actually, like, kill it with her bare hands? I guess we'll have to talk about that in regards to episode 3, because I do have another theory, but I do like... I really debated myself with the Serpentis plotline in terms of, like, oh, he was a double agent. Like, that's not true. So the Vox tech, it's interesting because you have the tech aspect of it, as in, like, actual technology, but then you have the TV shows in terms of the entertainment. And so that's also brought to you by Vox Tech. So it's not just the technology, like the televisions and stuff, it's also the shows, which I thought that was interesting. I feel like even with the V's, the idea is that the Overlords are at the top and they're exploiting the regular hell people to be the equivalent of the rich. Okay, that was a bad sentence, but you guys know what I mean? Like, they're at the top of hell, so they're exploiting the people that are just like they are. And people also talked about the fact that the V's seem like new money in comparison to old money. Also, they talk about Valentino being his boy toy. Like, I wonder what the relationship is, because it seems like somebody brought up that Vox seems jealous of Angel Dust, and I'm not sure if that was jealousy or just vague annoyance, because, like, why would he like Valentino? There's nothing to like about, like, for Vox, there's nothing to like about Valentino.
I mean, they seem to have a pretty solid relationship, and Vox seems to know how how to cool Valentino off to not get him so angry about
Oh,
things.
for sure, but
Knows
just
what he
like,
wants.
but why would Vox be pining after? Like, what is
Yeah.
it about this man that everybody is pining?
I like how he's television, but also he has a Wi-Fi signal on his hat, another top hat. A lot of people with top hats in the show.
I mean, I like a
So
good
he's like
top
internet,
hat.
but also.
But yeah, so, you know, this is another example of sort of what I'm talking about when we're getting to, we're talking about, like, rich
Also,
versus poor thing.
Poofy-haired demon girl. I love her so. Look at that.
Oh, like the
poofy-haired.
news?
Yeah.
The news reporter?
Yeah, she has like lovely poofy hair. She's so adorable.
But yeah, like, we are pleased to announce Vox Tech Angelic Security is coming soon. And, like, he just made that up right now. So it's, you're exploiting the lower class and making them buy stuff they don't need. Were we talking about this, Hunter? Where, like, the women on TikTok that purchase all those things to put in their door so they don't get broken into or whatever, and we were talking
there's
about
this
how,
weird
like,
thing of women on TikTok. It's like,
consumerism related to safety and, like, fear-mongering so people will buy stuff to protect. Like, you need a dog or pepper spray. You do not need a piece of plastic that goes into the lock.
Know.
Like,
you're an American,
you know what I mean?
can buy a shotgun. But you're such an anxious housewife.
Just the materialism
More
of buying, like,
use it
this
on
cheap plastic shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm not saying don't, like, lock your doors at night,
Oh,
obviously,
no, of
but,
course
like,
not, but, like, it
some
was
people,
overkill.
it's a little weird.
And it's also, you're making that content because you were sponsored. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? There's nothing wrong with protecting yourself, but these
Also-
plastic door stoppers are not gonna stop someone from breaking in your house.
If someone wanted to need it, like, just voraciously needed to bust in your house and stab you to death, they just break a window.
Yeah.
You know?
Right? And so
Like,
that's
it's-
what I'm like, okay. Also, if your house is set on fire and you need to undo all of the safety mechanisms that you put into place, that's dangerous. Don't do
Also,
that.
if a power outage occurs, like, you know?
There's just a lot of things to worry about. Do not lock yourself in your house, please. But yeah, and so, like, try to get Carmela on the books, like, for the security stuff. And so I think that that's interesting, right? Like, I think that it's like, oh, well, they're not even thinking about it. They just want to exploit people's fear for the money.
I like how we have a janitor here sweeping up, like, the gore and the blood on the ground.
Well, yeah, because it's implied that Valentino actually, like, murdered, like,
Several
went into
people,
a
it would seem.
murderous
Yeah.
rage or something like that. But I love Velvet. I keep trying to call her Valentina. I don't know why. Her name's Velvet. I love Velvet.
Oh, I love how all the models look so frightened by having to deal with her.
I know. She's perfect. Absolutely no notes. I wonder if this flat-faced prince, like, is this, like, just, like, they're joking around, or is he actually a prince of some division of, you know, like how Stolas is a lord and whatever in Hell of a Boss? I don't know. But yeah, and so he literally tore up, but we see the bloody pieces of the model. But I just love her so much. And she has a little outfit change, later on in the episode, which I thought was really good. But yeah, so something that I noticed in terms of this stuff, Velvet sells a love potion. I wonder if it's related to Valentino's powers. Okay? Because if you look at this, whatever the red smoke is, does Velvet use that to make the potion? Because we see that same slime when he licks Charlie in episode 4, and then in the Poison music video, you also have that dripping from his mouth. And so I wonder if this is an actual, because he's a bug of some sort, right? So, like, people were talking about pheromones or something like that. I wonder if, like, this is an actual, they collect it from Valentino, and this is kind of just, not a semblance, but, like, his power. Also, there's a security camera in the, right up here. Yeah. So it's kind of implied that Vox is always watching him, which I think is interesting, but anyway. Yeah, so Vox as a prince may just be a metaphor or whatever. It may not be that serious, but yeah, see how, like, even the saliva, I guess you guys can't see, hold on. Even the saliva hanging from his mouth, like, he's a moth. I don't know anything about moths or bugs or whatever, but maybe.
Is it a moth? I mean, maybe, yeah.
Maybe it's something, because he does have wings, right? So do bugs do that? I don't know. Do bugs have, like, a stink bug?
I mean, there are spit bugs.
Yeah.
That's the thing, bugs that will release, like, this kind of foamy liquid.
But yeah, and so, in terms of...
And also something about a porn producer being a spit bug is funny.
Vox is insecure, and Velvet's the most competent, and then Val is an impulsive hothead. Yeah, chat, you guys are right. But yeah, I love how, like, he's smiling. He's like, Angel, quit. Like, you know, I don't know. Like, he just seems so happy at the idea, but it's worse. He moved and, like, he looks so sad. But it seems like does Val hit him? Because there's something weird that happens right here. I don't know if it was the movement of the episode, but, like, he does this and then his face suddenly goes to the side. I don't know if it was just his head, but I think that he may have, like, smacked him, which is not good, not nice. And also, I guess, foreshadowing to what what happens to Angel Dust later. Right? But the thing with Vox is what's interesting is that, like, he has a very particular type of manipulation where he, I don't know, he guides them to the conclusions that he wants them to make. Like, you'll see that happen right now, like, what will this do for our brand? Fuck it up, right? And so you should do nothing? And he's like, great idea, as if that's not what he wanted him to say in the first place. I just thought that was very clever. I like how they did that in terms of how Vox gets people to do things, but I think that, like, eventually, I think that Valentino may be a season 1 villain still, in the sense that he still wants to shoot someone, right? He says that, so I think that he's going to, like, go to the hotel and actually do something. Let me call up the lowest earners this month. That's awful. That's so terrible.
What I find interesting is that both Valentino and Angel Dust both have a gold tooth.
I think Angel Dust probably got it because of Valentino.
Yeah, I wonder if that's like he gets all of his like
fashion inspiration almost.
Or that or like he gets all the people whom he owns to
do the tooth.
To look a little bit like him, which is a concerning and creepy notion.
I wonder what's this?
It looks like a photo of
Valentino.
Them? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess just the day that they met.
They look like they're holding hands. No, they're shaking a hand.
Yeah, so that must be when they first made their little deals, right?
Maybe.
But yeah, this is when we get into the radio demon and we see the reaction. Alastor came back and he's with Lucifer's daughter, and that wasn't the first thing you told me. Killing Alastor is your kink. Okay, thanks. But yeah, and then we see Alastor. He's literally like, look at how his eyes are going in opposite directions. He's absolutely insane. I thought that this was great for the forgettable experience. I just love him so much. It's so funny, and I love how they're kind of hiding what Alastor is from us all the time. And they're just like, anyway, I do like the Bendy and the ink machine. Let me get a clear. Oh, I must have missed the screenshot where they were all together. Let me see. But yeah, are these like real people, or are they just like, I guess they're voodoo dolls, right? Which I don't know how I feel about that, but anyway, I guess that's what they're supposed to be. I do like the Bendy and they have the needles in them. The pins.
Oh, yeah, they do have pins in them.
But I do like the Bendy and the ink machine concept.
Well,
but see,
some of them do,
they're
some
black
of them
and
don't.
white. So, like, what if they're kind of the same thing as the Exorcist?
Maybe.
Where they're not actually real, but they're magic made.
Sure. Not all of them have pins, though.
Oh, no, but I'm assuming that that's because they have stitches and stuff. They're supposed to be, I don't know, dolls at the very least, right? But yeah. I think that they're just Alastor's powers. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm like, well, what if the exorcists are like that too, where they're just magic beings that have no sentience? Okay, so I'm not gonna talk about this very much because I created a whole video about the song. It's coming. It'll come out eventually. I just want to, I'll say a couple rapid fire things though. Hello and home don't rhyme. The new status quo is too long in terms of the already established rhythm that they made. Brand new dawn is a redundancy because every dawn is a new dawn.
Yes.
By saying new dawn.
You can't repeat a dawn.
It's also not hyphenated. And so if it was hyphenated, it would be brand new as in brand new car. It's not hyphenated, which means it's brand as in just brand New Dawn. New Dawn is already a phrase, so you can't, nope. That's not something that you can say that you're doing. I hate the talk singing. I think it's terrible. Or not even talk singing, they're just talking. But anyway, so the radio guy's back. I don't think you noticed. I was too busy with a much more interesting and important person, so fuck off. News is slow today, I guess. I'm totally not worried about this guy, and neither should you be. I totally wrecked his shit. I like the little role. The visual gags are really good. Like, I like the Tonight Show. I just wish that they had sung this part, because it just feels like, that they originally wanted this part to be sung, but then they ran out of time, and so they were like, oh, well, never mind, we just have to speak it. Because I do like the, you know, obey and pray as a reference to, like, you know, in the U.S., there's all these Christian people on TV, and they try to, televangelists and everything. Exorcists are all female descendants of Adam. Ooh, that would be interesting. If they were all Adam's particular magic, because it's, again, ribs from Adam type situation. This mic looks very suspiciously like another phallic-shaped object, but yeah. Wally hidden radio and video, that's fine. And now his medium is getting bloody rare.
That makes no sense.
Throw caution to every warning sign of this song.
Because, like,
I think it's bad.
Because, like the joke is that, like, your medium's getting bloody rare, and that medium is a way you can do a steak, and rare is a way you could do a steak. But you can't go from medium to rare. You can't uncook a steak.
No,
you could say your medium's done, like well done.
Yeah.
Like that, but like.
Because I know what they mean. They mean the medium of radio is rare. But then, because they say it's getting rare, you cannot get rare, because what was it before? It had to either be. Yeah. It couldn't have been.
It was alive,
before.
motherfucker.
It was alive, and now it's bloody. I don't know. Like, it was just stupid line, and they could have fixed it because they didn't need to say getting. They could have just said, "Now your medium is bloody rare," and that would have been fine.
But that still doesn't make sense.
Implies a past.
But that still doesn't make sense, because you can't go from medium. You would have to be like, now your medium's well done. Like,
I understand what you're saying, but I could have been,
but like, you can't go from the one to the other, so it's still, like, you're trying to salvage it. And I understand where it's like... I'm like,
if we just took out getting, I would have been like, okay.
I just think that it's like, I don't know, I feel like
it would have been more acceptable if they said the medium is bloody rare. I would have been like, okay, well, that's fine,
Someone
I guess.
pointed out, Agent of Chaos, that he's holding venison, and Alastor has antlers.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the visual. So the visual gag works, but like.
But the actual
lyrics,
sentence, you cannot get bloody rare. I was so mad. Like, oh my god! In the video that I made, I was so pissed. Because they could have said it's rotting. Because here's the problem, and again, I explained this in the video, so I don't want to get too much into it. If you're mixing metaphors, you have to keep in mind that when we're talking about, like, I don't know, figurative language, you have to keep in mind that, some metaphors only work one way in terms of meat can go from raw to cooked, and popularity can go from incline and decline, but you cannot go, again, like how you said, you cannot go from cooked to raw. So if you're doing, like, that sort of metaphorical lyric writing, you need to keep in mind the direction your metaphor is going and whether or not it can go both ways, because cooked only goes in one direction and popularity can go in two directions. So it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense. And there's some, like, there's rhythm issues in terms of how many beats, like, and how many syllables certain things have. There's problems. Bad. Just not nice. Not nice. Alastor's is much more clean, like his talking section, and I'm like, this is like a real format.
Yeah, like the for some reason the song just got a lot better when Alastor started
I know,
talking.
and so it's like Alastor had the real
it's almost
part,
it's almost like
the
writers like Alastor more than they like Vox, and they know what to do with Alastor.
Yeah, it was just, and like they rhymed that with that twice. Format also rhymes with chirping between the flitting between this fat and that, and then they rhyme, oh, he's the shit that comes before that, so they rhyme that with that, and I'm like, brilliant, great job, guys.
I will say that the visuals are fun.
Oh yeah, the visuals are great. I do like this, he'd be powerless without the other V's, and they're like, yeah, okay. But I think that, like, you know, Valentino doesn't seem too happy about that, but Velvet does. Somebody's actually recognizing Velvet, but like I said, Velvet's the only smart V. I guess so, but like, there can only be one smart lyricist. Sugar on the cream is bad. Nobody says that. No one has ever said that in the history of the human race. I looked it up.
So, but like, you can put sugar on whipped cream.
But that, no one says that, though. That's not the icing on the cake.
Yeah,
it's not the cherry on top. You can do this. It's fine.
It's like they wanted to say icing on the cake or cherry on top, but
nothing rhymed
but it
with
didn't, so
top.
they had to like make their own idiom that is a thing that exists. But
nobody says that.
Yeah.
So you can't say that. I'm sorry. You can't make up your own.
But something about, like, I don't know, sugar on cream just seems old-fashioned.
It was also like, is it about
him?
coffee cream or like whipped cream? That was just the confusing part to me. Vox is supposed to come up short to Alastor. I mean, that's right. But the problem is that you need to be... You have to make your character self-aware, or else it seems like you're the one who's dumb. And so, you know, we'll talk about that in that video, I guess, because I do understand that, like, Vox is supposed to be not as good. But if you're writing that way, you need to make it have self-awareness, so people don't think that you're the one who's stupid. And the example I used was, like, they could have made him miss a very obvious rhyme that we're all waiting for it, and then it doesn't happen. Right? Like how in Frozen with Olaf, he's like, you know, put me in summer and I'd be a happy snowman. Like, we're all waiting for him to say puddle.
Choice.
We all want him to say puddle. They subvert our expectations and they understand that, right? So if they had made Vox miss a very obvious rhyme, then I would have been like, okay, well, they're trying to write it so that Vox is stupid. But when they wrote this medium is getting bloody rare, I'm like, no, you thought you were being clever, and you're just dumb. Also, they write handily with family, which does not rhyme. That's like rhyming working and singing. You can't just rhyme stuff with ing at the end of it. You can't do that. You have to rhyme the middle of the word, which is why ringing and singing rhymes. Working and chirping do not. Anyway, so yeah, and then Alastor does the bad rhymes too, but yeah, and then, the TV is buffering. I didn't even catch this when I wrote my script, but Hunter said that the TVs
don't buffer. Videos that you download or
God.
stream buffer, but like television, as in broadcast television, tends not to buffer really, right?
I was crying
like
myself to sleep.
You know, like other shit happens to it, but buffering not quite, you know?
I was like, oh, so yeah, I have beef with the song. I'm gonna talk about it in a bit more constructive way because I wrote the script. Alastor is getting close to Little Princess Morningstar. Our main concern now is ensuring no deal is ever struck. See, this is what I don't understand, but the why. Like, why don't they want them to make a deal? Like, what could they do? Would it hurt the V's? Is that what they're worried about? Like, I don't quite understand why they're trying to stop a deal. If it would make Charlie too powerful, or they're worried about Alastor rivaling them. I also like how Velvet had an outfit change, which is why I zoomed in right there. But that's the only thing that I'm not confused about, but like, they're concerned, but the level of why they're concerned is something that I don't quite understand. You know?
Yeah, I gotcha.
I don't know. Yeah, and so this is where they get the idea of putting someone on the inside, right? Someone desperate, pathetic. I love how also Valentino is just doing arts and crafts. He has just like a little thing of glue and everything. But yeah, I do like the scene of them fixing a wall, but I definitely do feel like that this episode was the weakest episode just because, like, first of all, the Vox and Alastor song was bad. And then, like, Charlie's song was cute, but it's like, oh, okay. This is not as good as the episode 3 and whatnot. It would give Alastor more power. He'd be one of the most powerful demons in hell. It would be bad for the V's. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So it's more that they're worried about Alastor getting too much power, not that they're necessarily worried about Charlie getting too much power. But yeah, Vaggie's spear, I think, is very suspicious. Oh, I also thought, though, also, maybe if more people get redeemed, they won't have people to sell things to, and so they don't want Charlie's Hotel to be successful.
That would
So
make
that's
sense.
the other thing that I thought too. Alastor just has fantastic line delivery. I think that was probably in this section that I thought
I feel like certain characters you can tell are the writer's favorite, and I feel like people just have the writers have a good time with Alastor.
Yeah.
And I feel like his voice actor has an excellent
for sure.
time with him as well.
The only other thing I think that we have to say about this episode is that I really like how they didn't do like a whole we believe Sir Prentice and we don't believe Angel Dust.
That would be annoying.
I thought that would be annoying. I don't want to talk about their little theater games. Like, it was cute,
the
but
theater
like,
games was
we
very
can
cute.
move on.
Like, I love Charlie as a character. The whole premise of a Disney princess, really hopeful for the world, everything's gonna be okay, we can all love each other type person in hell. Brilliant, inspired idea.
But back to Valentino, because that's just the commercial. That's why I was like, not that this episode was like a nothing, but I was like, oh, well, this is all that happened in this episode. There's nothing for us to theorize about, right? But it's interesting how his waveforms come through, that some of them are angry and then some of them have the hearts on them. I thought that was a very good touch. But yeah, like, you can tell that he's really getting in his head. And then you also see the smoke and everything, right? And so I think that that's interesting. It's like, well, is that smoke, again, also used to make the love potions, and there's something about that, and that I think would be interesting.
Also, that little demon pig's adorable. I love him.
I think that you're right, Hunter. The fact that they have alcohol around, like, recovering addicts is a bad...
Or, like, people that are trying to be your best self. I'm not saying you can't drink alcohol, but, like, it's not always necessarily conducive to your best self.
Also, Prentice calls him a very non-nice thing, and I'm like,
What is Prentice called?
Like a horror bug or something, because he's a spider, and so I'm like,
also,
well, that's
I love
nice.
Okay, so my big pet peeve is that I am not certain if Vaggie and Charlie date, but I do really like that they walk in together, implying that they, like...
We're asleep together.
Maybe they could have just been in similar rooms. Also, with...
This is what I was talking about. What the fuck is this thing? Do you know?
I mean, that's just a rainbow.
Yeah, but, like, what is it?
Yeah, Roy G. Biv, that's just a rainbow.
Yeah, I know, but, like, what is it, though? Like, a sculpture? Like, is it fine art? Is it the circles of hell?
Is it 7, or is it 12, 10,
I don't know.
7, 8?
But yeah, I was like, does anybody
chat?
Do you guys know what the rainbow thing is happening? Like, what is that? Because I saw that during the episode, and I was like, Hunter, that's, like, very prominent in the background. Like, that looks like an object that a character is supposed to interact with, you know what I mean? Just how it stands out against everything else. There's also, like, an angel globe? That's the circles of hell? Okay, good job, chat, good job. But, like, here's the other one that I thought, like, this was funny. I don't know what that is.
It looks like angelic.
Biblically accurate angel situation.
Well, because heaven was a city with, like, that was a sphere with rings surrounding it, so maybe it's like a diorama of heaven, which is cute that they keep, like, mementos from their time in heaven, you know?
But yeah, like, Vox is such an asshole here. He's just terrible, like...
Not a nice man, that
No,
Vox.
and at first I thought I liked him, now I'm not entirely sure about him, but I was so convinced about the Prentice double agent thing, and it's like, no, they actually
I
just
love
think
Vaggie
it's
and Charlie's pajamas. They look so cute, and their messy little hair.
This was a nice little facial expression. So again, like, this song was probably good. I need to, like, recheck...
I liked it.
and Core rock? Yeah, that's fine.
It's one of those things where, like, yeah, I feel like this song's a little more... It's nicer. I like it. Yeah. It lands better.
Like, there's some
nice
its
fun comedic moment where Charlie's trying to be like, forgiveness, and Angel Dust and Vaggie are like, murder.
Yeah, starts and hearts is fine. Like, this would be something that I would need to check, like, later on to see if the syllable count is right, but, like... Me and Amnesty, at least, like, yeah, like, that's fine. It's not hello and home. Hello and home just do not rhyme. I love how they're like, let's kill him.
Like, no
right?
murder.
And you see the little spider eyes? Because when Angel's mad, he has extra eyes, which I guess keeps with
his,
the thing that he's a
red
spider.
Become
it's like, you
eyeballs.
could choose to kill him, but it's better to not kill him.
I just love how, like, happy and cryy and Yeah, he looks. It's adorable.
I love the sorry and the fireworks. That was really, really good. I think it's funny, the streets are saying that Cherry Bomb is in next episode, which I think is hilarious, because in the middle of last episode, I was like, where's Cherry Bomb, by the way? I was just thinking to myself, but it seems like that she will actually be around.
Sleepy Nifty.
Nifty has, I don't know if these are socks, or if they're
Pointy,
pointy
I guess socks.
knives on the end of her
No,
feet.
I think it's just...
She has blades.
I think it's the ruffles of her
I don't know,
socks.
like, I was like, she has, like, ninja stars around her ankles in case somebody tries to attack her in the night. I have no idea what was going on with that. Oh, man, but yeah, I do like Alastor coming in, and it's weird, though, because Alastor is not recorded by technology, but clearly he's recorded by this, so I guess he was just letting himself be.
I guess so.
But yeah, alright, so as we change out the episode, so episode 2, like, it's kind of mid. Like, episode 2 is nothing,
Everything
like,
other
super
than that
special,
one
right?
song was pretty enjoyable, though.
Yeah, yeah. It was enjoyable, but it wasn't like, I'm not, like, crazy, like, foaming at the mouth or anything. Whereas where I will start to foam at the mouth...
Also, little flying goat butlers. I love them so.
They are cute.
They're adorable.
Where I will start to foam at the mouth is with Carmela's daughters that appear in this scene.
Yes.
I love that also Prentice's dialogue, like, is actually cute. Like, I didn't notice as much before, but if you'll notice with them, they're, like, based on ballerina stuff. Like, they're based
Really?
on Clara and Odette from the Nutcracker.
Oh.
One of them's called Odette, or sorry, Odette's from Swan Lake, and then Clara's from the Nutcracker. So, and
That's
then
cute.
Carmela has very pointy, like, point shoes.
Yeah.
That are also
see.
knives, which I think is fun, giving the Malachite twins from Ruby in
A
that
run for
sort
their
of
money.
sense. Yes, and so yeah, I like the weapon building. I'm mad that she tried to take his little egg people away. I thought that was wrong. I know that it was like, but he was doing evil with the egg people, but like, they're sentient. That wasn't very nice.
They're not very
I
smart,
don't like
though,
that she
you know.
wanted to get rid of the little egg boys. I thought that was rude.
I love Vaggie when she's angry. She's so wonderful.
And like, he's just like, how can you do this to him? Like, I don't know. I thought that wasn't very nice, but obviously by the end of the episode, it's fine. So like, I don't even know what to say about this. I don't even know what I need and what to talk about. I think
Just has a portal to
we
open
should
up
bring
to
up that
some
he has-
field where he's eating a raw
like,
deer.
he has some, like, this is where the relics were in Ruby Volume, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the Ruby Volume 8 or whatever. And he's just eating a deer. And I'm just like, why? What's going on? That's a lot less hot. I don't know what that was supposed to all be about, but I do like Alastor's little outing. Was the tongue? No, it's just blood and flies, and I'm just like, Alastor, what's wrong with you, bestie? What's wrong with you? Okay, my beef with this trust exercise is that absolutely no one does it correctly. Charlie doesn't even do it correctly. She's like, I love you guys so much. That's not... Like, that's
how
not
this
a
works.
trust exercise. That doesn't make any sense. It's a play on cannibalism. I mean, I know, but, like, it's raw. Cook your meat, or else your medium is gonna be bloody. Okay, anyway. Yeah, so Charlie doesn't do it right. Like, she just says that she loves them all. I don't know what. Are you okay? I'm like, that is not...
I mean, that's vulnerable,
No,
right?
it's not, though. They already know that about
Yeah.
him. That's not a secret.
But part of me thinks it's funny that she's so gung-ho about it, but because it's kind of foreign to her nature,
Yeah.
as someone who grew up in hell, that she doesn't quite get it right.
He actually says fun instead of hot. See, that's what I thought. I was going crazy. I was like, why would Alastor say that's a lot less hot? So yeah, he did mean fun. Nifty said something that was good. I also like, I don't want to live without my minions. I thought that was good. I thought that was actually vulnerable. What Nifty said was also vulnerable.
Really fucked up.
This was a great visual gag, though. This one in particular, how they all just
Nifty
move
swan dive.
away. She just falls
I
on the
felt
floor.
bad for Nifty, but turns out she enjoys it. So, you know,
Yeah.
she can have her
I
fun.
didn't realize, okay, this is bad of me, but until we got to this episode, I don't know why, because kids should not be in hell, right? Children should not be in hell, but I thought that she was a very young adult, I guess,
No.
where she is not I didn't think she was a child. I thought that she was
has like whimsical nature.
I don't know, not 16, sorry. I thought she was like 19. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that she was relatively a teenager, right? But she is not a teenager. She is apparently, somebody told us she's a serial killer. And she killed a bunch of people in her life. So she's, definitely not a teenager. But I was a little confused until this episode. I just thought that she was, I don't know. I just thought that she was a teenage, person that died.
She just is very whimsical and excitable and tiny. So
yeah.
I don't blame people for being like, oh, child, until
But yeah,
later
she's an
things
adult.
occur.
But in the earlier episode, because I guess it was oh, you're a bad boy. That's something that's a very juvenile, how you imagine teenage girls having crushes on their teachers or whatever, or whatever bad boy celebrity. Just the way she said it, I was like, oh, she's a teenager. And then we read the comments and found out that she's not a teenager. She's a serial killer. So I do like how Angel does. I don't think that we... oh yeah, see right there. Nothing about her human life is confirmed. That's weird, because I thought it was pretty concrete that she killed people. I don't know, I guess there's so much misinformation in the fandom
I feel
about
like it
what's
just
true.
Makes sense that she would have killed people.
Because she does like to kill bugs, right? And that's a serial killer, ripping the moths from their wings or whatever, so. But yeah, so Angel Dust and his ideas,
Executors.
The B plot, but I did like the Zestial thing. I think with Zestial, I think he's a gossip. I think that the fact that Carmela told him what's actually happening is bad, because he seems to be very nosy. I do like that this is some Bridgerton ass, walking around the Ton and look like there's all these people in the darkness that are watching them. It's just this spectacle, right? That they're walking around outside and the members of the Ton are just watching them take their unaccompanied stroll and everything. Oh, I forgot that I had notes. Oops. Alastor doing a cannibalism. I like how Vaggie has a military attitude. It goes back to the theory that she was trained as Charlie's bodyguard or maybe as an exorcist. I don't know. Bridgerton. Okay. Yeah. So it's been an age since he's graced us with the with our presence, that of you falling to holy arms, right? And so falling to holy arms would imply that, he was murdered, that he was killed. So I wonder if maybe he was injured, and that's what he's been doing the last 7 years. He's been recuperating, maybe, because he says, oh, I just took a break. It was nothing serious or anything, but, that's obviously a lie. So I wonder if it could also be a double thing. If he fell into holy arms, that could be, a relationship or something like that. I don't know. And so it could have been that he was hurt by an angel.
What if Alastor blinked to Lilith?
That's what I was thinking,
because
something
Lilith
like
leaves
that.
around the same time Alastor leaves.
Yeah,
so, what if
what were
they
they doing?
Rendezvous?
They could have also been that she healed him.
Hi,
maybe.
Charlie, I fucked your mother.
But, there's also rumors that you are, helping the princess with her flight of fancy, right? And so it's he's just nosy as hell. And I think that that's really bad for Carmela, because I think he is gonna tell people about the demon, right? And so I love how he said, that's for me to know, but do guess. I love to know the theories. He just has such good dialogue. But, yeah, I don't know why he's helping Charlie. Is it a power grab? Is it because he, what was I gonna say? He wants the angels to die because he was hurt by an angel? Is it personal? I took holy arms as him maybe being killed by an angel, but he's alive. So he can't have been killed unless, I'm did he lie with an angel? Did he get hurt by an angel? Did maybe he get killed by an angel and somebody revived him like Lilith? There's a lot of interesting, what if Alastor... Lilith revived Alastor after he had died and, oh, promise you'll go help Charlie. That was the price of their deal. It could be something like that as well. But yeah, he's been an enigma ever since he manifested. And also, Zestial is just as ancient. So, I think that Alastor, there's so many things, but we also don't know anything. And so we can't really make a decision on what it is, because he even says, we have no information. We absolutely have nothing. I do like all of these people, though. I like the Hades lamp is really good. Hunter got really excited over the big furry looking one that happened in this
so
episode.
I know. So there's like a Kesha music video about a furry that dances around. Is that the same furry?
No.
Is the big,
What do you mean the Kesha music video? Are you talking about Hell of a Boss?
There's a Vizzy Pop music
From Hell
video.
of a Boss?
No, there's a Vizzy Pop animation on her YouTube channel.
Oh, the one that inspired the Hell of a Boss episode.
And is that...
I don't think it's the same one, but it's probably inspired.
They look very similar, I think, because I remember it was like a green-haired wolf girl.
Yeah.
Like, is it confirmed Vizzy Pop is a furry?
I mean, at this point, I think it's safe to make some assumptions, right? But yeah, this is what I meant with the ballet shoes, right?
Yeah.
They're on point,
Yeah.
so. Their arches are up. I can't pinpoint Alastor's motives yet either. Either he works for Lilith, or he has other plans that will go against Charlie's family. See, that's what I'm thinking of as well, something like that. But see, what Carmela says, I invited you all here because you represent the controlling powers of our city. Together we own millions of souls at risk with the new extermination schedule. We need to discuss what can be done to minimize the impact to our interests, right? So it's about their money. That's what it's really about. And see, Zestial sipping the tea, like, I think that that's really suspicious. So again, I think that there's like a capitalism thing here where they don't actually care about the citizens. They care about if there's no citizens, we have no money.
Yeah,
and I love how like, she's like, I'm sure you've all been wondering
rate here.
like where we are.
Rate.
Not really, but welcome back in any case. I wonder if that's actually a piece of foreshadowing that Carmela does not wonder where Alastor was because she knows. And that's supposed to be a piece of foreshadowing because she's not curious where Zestial is. I also don't know if she needed to say brutal with her accent. Like, I don't know how necessary that was, but anyway.
I mean, it's Vizzy Pop, so.
But yeah, and so I love V coming in on the phone and
talking shit about everyone else.
So, like, it's different again. Her outfit is so good. Talking shit about everyone on the phone, saying that everybody hears a joke, which is fucked up. I wonder if we counted them, if there are supposed to, like, if there are 7 of them, that we could do 7 Deadly Sin stuff. Right, this is one of the best songs in the show, I think. In terms of just lyrically, everything is super tight. There are some suspicious parts of it with Carmela stuff. I was talking about it with Hunter earlier, but yeah, I just really like the song. See, the meager proof, I'm like, the angel is dead. Like, what do you mean? It's dead, it's dead.
I have rolled a decapitated head down a long table. We can't deny this.
Yeah. And so, the song was really, really great. I think that we'll probably just skip past most of this because the issues I have with the song, again, I'll talk about it in the video, but just the vocal performance that she gives here is really, really good. I like, we should probably take a look at Baby Doll XXX, best bitch I know. She's a bad bitch. We love the bees. Obsessed, can't look away. They so bad, it's good. Behave. And then there's a little sad emoji. We now deliver instantly. Oh, that's just commercial. Oh, look, there's little popsicles.
Oh.
Just like the little SpongeBob like popsicles. That's so funny. Social media overlord, right? So they have like a cornered market on anything new technology, it seems like. But yeah, just great song, great rhymes, no notes. The only note I have
I wasn't crazy about this song.
Oh,
I just
no.
don't, so any song where it's just like hashtag
I know,
swipe
but
right
like,
on you. Like
it
it's
makes
just it's
sense,
a little like
though.
ugh, you know.
I thought that it was actually pretty clever how they used it because like if it was just a social media reference, I would cringe. But I talked about this in what I recorded, and hopefully you guys will see it. I don't know, tomorrow or this weekend. But like swiping right being a Tinder reference, I can allow that in this case because she's talking about them being attractive as partners. Like their cowardice is what makes them unattractive. So if it was just like a Twitter reference, I'd be like, oh, that's cringe. Like, I get it, you're hip with the kids. But because it was specifically Tinder and the idea of like attractiveness for a partner and they're all supposed to be allies, I thought that that was very clever. So I gave them a pass. I thought that that was okay. But I thought that the song was really good. I just wish that at the end they had a key change because it is very the same, like nothing changes. They could have done a key change at the end and I thought that that would have been good, but they did not do. They did not key change. And like they literally just got there and now they all have to leave because Carmela's mad. She could have asked just for 5 minutes. She could ask for 5 minutes
Real short meeting, my goodness.
I know.
That's a meeting that could have been an email, you know?
All right, so now we're not going to talk. Oopsie, that's exactly the opposite of what I wanted to do. We're not going to talk about the BDSM activity corner because we can't really show anything
Get away
from
with
it anyway.
But it's very funny. I
was
enjoy
funny.
it. Some good points were made about trust.
Yeah, and BDSM, so that's it. But yeah, I like Vaggie being the drill sergeant, though. Like, because this is how, if she was implied... Hunter, there's no strap there, bestie.
I could have sworn I saw a strap
I don't
earlier.
know, but yeah, like...
My bad.
I like that this
Take
is
it back.
a possible... I wrote this down. Vaggie, I think that Vaggie was taught... in a war... Oh, wait. Vaggie says that she was taught, like, in a war zone, so I have a feeling she's part of some military, either in a past life or one of Lucifer's personal guards, and that's why she guards Charlie, or maybe the fallen angel exorcist idea, and that's why she's Charlie's bodyguard, because she's the only one that can permanently kill other sinners. So,
I will say, like, it's not clear who were humans that fell and who were, like... Born demons, you know?
I think everybody, except for Charlie, it's supposed to be, but yeah, they didn't really
But then they also
that.
talk about how, like, the radio demon just manifested here.
But he manifested, but we know that he used to be alive.
Do we?
I don't know. I thought I read it
I guess
somewhere.
we don't know.
Like,
So
I thought that, like, because Husk, I thought that they say, because not Alastor, Angel Dust was a gangster in his past life and, like, based on Al Capone and killed people. Like, that's what I read somewhere. So I thought that with Alastor, he actually was a radio celebrity in our world, right? But yeah, Velvet died in our modern time. I do agree that the song, like, how they characterize her does fit in terms of who she is, but I also understand what Hunter's saying, that sometimes that can come off with, like, we are hip with the kids.
Mhm.
Like, we're so hip. But I would defend the usage of the social media slang in this case because it's not too cringy. But I do understand that just because it's in the voice of the character doesn't mean that sometimes it comes off as... Doesn't mean that sometimes it doesn't come off as cringe.
yeah.
Double negative? I don't know. But yeah, manifested as in arrived in hell after dying, right? And so I think that Alastor, I think he did die.
Maybe?
I think
I don't
that
know.
they all died.
I will say this. So with Vaggie, it's like, oh, she's kind of looks like a moth. I don't know of any moth demons. I know Beelzebub means Lord of the Flies. So if she was like a fly, that makes sense, but not quite the same. Yeah.
I also like the visual gag of Husk. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Husk just backs away and he's going through the door and he just leaves. He's like, you're not throwing me.
I also
in a
like
war zone.
how when they she's about to throw Nifty down there, but Nifty wants
Nifty
to murder.
just goes
so
down
she's
there
like,
by
uppies,
herself.
uppies, no, okay, tries to get over, fails, struggles, jumps over, presumably kills a lot of
I
people.
will say, like we said in the episode, I still don't think that this argument was... I don't think that they were arguing enough, basically, because, like, Vaggie has a really... I don't know, she's like, I'm sorry I went crazy earlier, but I didn't think that this conversation was even remotely that crazy, so that's just me, but I didn't think that this was that big of a deal. I thought that it was a perfectly normal... It was a normal amount of deal. I don't know, like... right? I understand that it's because she kind of snapped at her, but I don't think that the snapping... It would have been different if she was like, oh, well, you're the princess, so you've been sheltered your whole life. What do you know? That's what I would have been like... What do they say? Like, my wig was snatched. I would have been like, oh my god. But nothing happened. Like, this just was not... It was not it. It was not enough, I suppose I should say. So Zestial, see, he's like... He's sneaky as fuck. Like, he wants the tea, and it does worry me, right? And I feel like she also has a crush on him. Question mark, like, I don't know. I feel like that she kind of likes him, because she's like, no one speaks to Zestial that way. Like, in her song, she has a very defensive reaction, right? And so they're like, Mom, nobody should know. Oh, yes, I had a theory about this. Yeah, so I think that he may be sus, is what I said. I did what I had to do. I am not discussing this. And so I had an interesting idea. Some people think, oh, no. That's the wrong thing. Hold on. Carmela only killed the angel to protect her daughters. So the streets are saying that maybe that's the key to killing the angels. It's not any particular weapon, but they need to be killed out of love. So the love that people have for each other.
saying.
Yeah, so
So
that
if-
wasn't something that I came up with.
Right.
I write
so
it on
if,
Twitter.
So like if hypothetically Charlie were to work, everyone would care about each other and want to defend against the
or
angels.
even
so
if
they'd
Charlie
be able to kill
attacked
the
the
angels.
angels, she would be able to
kill
do
an
it.
angel.
So
right.
I don't think that it's an actual weapon, but it's the idea that you need to protect someone not out of malice or for the fun of killing, but she did it to protect her daughters. I think that that's I think that's correct. I think that that theory may actually be a correct theory. Because I could definitely see that going that way. See, he's like, one way's on your soul, right? Like, he definitely wants them, like, I don't know, he wants to know. And see, what's interesting is that, okay, blood off my face, bad.
Not
The
great.
lyrics are so bad in this entire song. They're so, some of them are bad, and we'll talk about it. When that thing attacked, I had to act.
You gotta act.
But the thing? What do you mean the thing? You know what it is.
Well, when people say thing, it's like when they're shocked and appalled. By
I
it.
guess
Like,
so,
that's
but
something-
like, it's
like,
just not.
It has its use there, right?
But it would have been nice if they said when the angel attacked, I had to act. That would have been a nice use of alliteration where it's like,
Sure.
thing. I'm just like, why? To cross that line to keep them safe. See, and so I do wonder if it was out of love, right? All of hell would right. This was a good line though. And who's to say who'd survive the fray? I might lose the ones that I was killing for. That was good. That was fire. But somebody used all of their brain cells on this one line, and all the other lines didn't get anything. Oh boy. But yeah, like I do think that this aspect of the song is good because now we understand more about Carmela as a character, that she's not like an evil person, that she cares about her daughters, right? Like a musical theater song should either give us information or it should let us know something about the character, and this did both. We have the information that she did it, but she did it to protect her daughters. Also, yeah, she has, I just noticed she has the ballet, like the stereotypical ballet tights going up her leg. So, yeah, I think that her killing the angel, it wasn't any particular weapon. It's that it needs to be out of love. So, okay, Vaggie, though, Hunter, like, I'll die on the hill that these lyrics are actually not good.
I mean, I feel like with Vaggie, it's just like, what reason did she have to have this song?
Right.
Right?
And,
like, it was such a minor disagreement that I feel like they just like, well, it's been 3 episodes, we haven't had a Vaggie song, let's have her sing her feelings.
Give us nothing.
And what feelings? Are they gay feelings?
Hunter's still not convinced. Like, Hunter's just sitting here like, this is the straightest Yuri I've ever seen. Like,
Well, no,
this
that's
is
the
Yuri
thing,
for straight
is that I
people.
like the idea of them as a couple. They're just not,
They're not
giving us
gaying enough.
coupleness.
Yeah.
They're not giving it to us.
Right, so, like, you made me feel like a stranger in a brand new place. What place? When did you see her face? This is like, these are pop lyrics. These are not musical theater lyrics. And it felt so good to be understood. How did she understand you? What did she understand about you? I don't know. But there's so much I wish that I could say it. To us, you can say it. You're talking to yourself. To her, I understand if you can't say it, but to us, you can say it.
Yeah.
So
it really
lyricism.
isn't an I want song because she's
No,
not being specific.
I don't know anything. What do you want, bestie, right? I'll be your armor. That's fine. I'll do whatever it takes. I'll make the mistakes. I'll spend my life being your partner. That's fine. But
Partner.
like, you're not
What
an I
kind
want
of
song.
partner?
Yeah.
What kind of partner, Vaggie?
But yeah.
Would you like to be specific?
You're not an I want song. You are an I am song, which is very confusing because this did nothing. I don't understand
should be about how
anything. It
she
should be
wants-
about how did you meet specifically? What did she make you feel when you met specifically?
I feel like it should be like the song should be like, I love you, but you're too focused on other bullshit, and I wish you would just pay more attention to me. That's at least a conflict. This is just like,
and they're
I
trying
have
to bring
feelings
these two characters
about
to have
you.
a duet.
It's not
It is
really
not.
a conflict.
This doesn't make any sense.
Just feelings.
Bad song. And I know I can't replace you, so I'll do anything to save you. Thank you for rhyming you with you. I'm assuming that that's what it is. Obviously, we can't hear it right now. I will try to make your dreams come true, whatever we go through. Okay, that's whatever. I know, I'll be your keeper, I'll be your armor. Bad.
Yeah, wait, go back. Strap.
Oh, yeah, okay, so it is an eye patch.
I remember I saw a strap somewhere. Yeah, there's an eye patch. Vaggie has an eye patch. So I wonder if she lost it somehow.
Maybe. What if she's hiding her demon, her angel eye?
Maybe. Who knows? You
That's
know,
my
a person
theory.
can just have an eye patch. That's fine. Doesn't need to be
On
a whole
top of this
dramatic moment,
pirate's ship.
it's weird that this building has a pirate's mast on it, you know?
Anyway, I love the eggs digging in the garbage.
Mhm. The eggs are very cute.
And I like how he's like, let's keep this between us, shall we? And we have...
Very strange
effect,
symbols.
They're gay, accepted Hunter? It's not that Hunter doesn't accept it. It's that she thinks
I
that the
want
show
it to
doesn't
be
believe
gay.
it.
I just want the show to make them gayer.
They're not gay enough.
I'm not like they're just close friends. No, they should be more than close friends. They're just I know not everything needs to be spoon-fed, but like Jesus Christ,
It's just not enough.
Like, can we not have like
They
a
gotta
little
hold
more
hands, you know?
like this could all be written off as the physical intimacy that two close heterosexual women have with each other.
They're not acting like they're in a relationship.
And also, because I feel like we were getting set up in the pilot of Vaggie having feelings for Charlie that weren't quite reciprocated. I thought that was going to be a conflict, but we don't really see that so far, so they kind of dropped that, which was a shame because I really liked that. And now they're just ambiguously gay, you know what I mean? The ambiguously gay satanic duo.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I want him to be gayer, you know? It's just... I'm just not getting it from here.
Hunter got canceled all the time.
All the time.
All the time. No. There has been no cancellation. But anyway.
Yeah, like, I don't know. It's hell. You don't need to live this weird Boston marriage you have going on.
What does that mean?
It's like when two women live together
and
they're very close
and
friends,
like,
but you know, they're not doing
apology
that
and this whole
when
like,
they
I'm
really
sorry I
are.
put pressure on you, I'm sorry I went crazy. I'm like, this was just not enough of a conflict.
Yeah, it's kind of a nothing. I will say that, like, all the episodes are good. This is the least good episode.
I thought last episode was the least good episode. This episode at least had the rap.
Yeah.
This at least had, like Velvet ate and left no crumbs. So at least that happened.
Well, I
in
don't
this
love
episode.
Velvet.
So I guess that's
why
we feel differently.
Episode.
I feel like episode 4 was the best one. Episode 1, 3, and 2 would be my ranking right now. Whereas you would probably feel the same but reversed.
Vince Ryder 2.0 said, in hell, no one gets canceled. No, I think if you're in hell, you're pretty solidly canceled.
Solidly canceled.
You're like, I dislike the term canceled because, like, it can mean a dozen different things depending on who you say it. If you're in hell, you're as canceled as anyone's gonna get.
Like, Jesus canceled you.
The universe and God and the divine order of the universe and everything threw you in the bin. You are canceled with a capital C.
That's so funny. Okay. So, I like that he gets his eggs back. I don't know why they had to take his eggs away in the very first place. I love how one of the eggs...
I love how they all cuddle together. I like how a snake lays eggs and they have clutches of eggs, so...
Yeah, see, it's like his little kids. You can't, like, take his kids away from him. But yeah, I love how he, like, here's the information about the killing, like, the angel killing, and we think it's gonna be that, oh, shit, like, now Prentice is gonna not, like, Pentis, he doesn't give a fuck.
Pentheus?
Anyway, Pentheus, he doesn't care. Is the point, which I thought was a nice subversion because usually on a cliffhanger like that, you would think, you know what I mean? You would think. But instead, we don't think. Okay, so I think that we have to skip past some of the stuff in episode
it shows an adult film.
Yeah, and like, yeah, I'm not entirely sure what.
But also it implies that like he like won an award for it, which is amusing.
Yeah, that there's
Are there
shows.
awards for pornography?
I mean,
There must
in this
be,
world,
right?
I guess.
There
I don't
must
know
be,
about in
yeah.
our world.
I mean, it only makes sense.
Are you gonna look it up
Maybe
right now?
it makes sense that there's like, cause you know it's an industry. There's industry awards. There's Tonys. I wonder if anyone's ever gotten an EGOT and then like a porn award.
But yeah, I do
A
like.
PGOT.
Oh my god.
A PGOT.
No.
PEGOT. Oh, there should be a PEGOT.
I think, does Lin-Manuel Miranda have an EGOT?
I'm not sure.
I think he might.
There was a new EGOT. Someone just got it.
I don't think anybody got it. I think what I saw was somebody being stupid on Twitter and thinking that a Grammy meant that you got an EGOT. And it was like, It was just dumb.
Oh,
Somebody was being
dear.
dumb. Someone was like, finally, so-and-so has an EGOT, and somebody was like, we need to talk about what an EGOT means, because you guys do not know. You guys do not know.
Yeah,
But yeah, so I like this, like, the princess is a bleeding heart who wants to solve everyone's problems except for her own.
It would appear, though, there are an awards for... Yeah, there's...
This one wants everyone...
There's an awards for
this
that
one judges
industry.
everyone and everything because she hates herself.
All of my Google thing is just angels, the porn awards.
Oh my god.
Oh, my FBI agent is so confused.
But yeah, this episode's a little bit hard to, like, you know, with the YouTube
I
stuff,
will
but
say
we are on
it's
episode
very,
4.
like, heavy.
Yeah, and I do like, how... like, you see how Angel Dust's personality changes when he gets on the phone with Valentino, like, when Valentino calls.
He becomes very contrite and fawning. And
yeah, I mean, he also, like, shrinks into
trouble.
himself,
Yeah.
right? And so... he says... Yeah, I think he says, like, I know you want to fix everything, but unless you can fix my boss, right, there's nothing you can do. And see, my beef with this episode was just that they make a focus on, like, you're the princess in hell, go exert your power. And then they talk about, I guess, like, Charlie shouldn't have gone to Angel Dust work and stuff like that, but they don't talk about, like, that the problem was that she tried to exert her power and she did it in a bad way. You know what I mean? So it does feel like, as much as I like this episode, it does feel like there's a disjointed message at the end, because I wish they focused on the fact that, like, Charlie's in a position of privilege and, she doesn't know how to be a good ruler in terms of using her powers as a princess, and she doesn't understand the dynamics of the overlords and how contracts work and, like, all of that sort of stuff. And so I just wish that they had done, because it feels like the moral from the end of the episode is not from this episode, you know what I mean? Because Vaggie is focusing on go use your princess powers for things. And the end of the episode just focuses on the fact that she, you know, went against what Angel Dust wanted, which, like, that's two different things. But yeah, there's some of the, like, we're not gonna show all this. Yeah, Vaggie suggests that Charlie commands a bit more authority. I just wish that they explained why Charlie can't use her authority against Valentino. And they say that Valentino owns Angel Dust, but, like, you know, in other societies where you have a ruler, like a prince or a king or whatever, I'm pretty sure, like, a king could just ask for you to be beheaded in medieval times and they would just get beheaded. Like, you know
due
what I mean?
process did not exist.
Like, yeah, so I'm like, what is
in
the
the
due
time
process?
of the divine
like,
right of kings,
How
you
does
know?
that work? Like, how does that work right here?
I mean, you presume hell is hierarchical.
Yeah, and so that's what I mean. Like, does she not have more power than they do? But I think it, you know, Angel Dust's concern, I think, was genuine. Like, you kind of thought that it was, oh, he's trying to save his own ass. He doesn't think he'll necessarily hurt Charlie. I do think, like, the licking thing again, I think that's more evidence for the love potion stuff. Like, that the love potion is made from Valentino specifically. I think that this is so, like, she's the princess of hell. Why does she need to be in a, like, you know, an adult entertainment movie, right? So he's just, I don't know. He's just so arrogant in that way. But, like, he also mentioned it to her dad, like, oh, we could be as rich as your father. So that's still, like, again, giving the implication that Lucifer is still at the top of the social hierarchy. So yeah, I have, like, I think the Angel Dust, I think that the Angel Dust stuff is fine, but, like, everything else is just, I don't know, the stuff with Charlie this episode, I think that they could have done a little bit better, but I think that we have to mostly skip by this scene in terms of visuals. But I do think that they did a good job showing, like, the change in Valentino's demeanor. And here's where we get the Mothwings, Hunter. So he is a moth, right? And so it does seem like that the love potion stuff may come from directly from him, because he uses that smoke
to control people in a manner.
Yeah, and I do wonder if, like, the fact that he licked Charlie, like, did that affect her in some way? But if it did, I feel like the show should have done a better job at showing that.
I feel like it didn't.
Yeah.
I think it just served to creep her out. Because I like the impression that you get from a line earlier in the episode is that Charlie's a very powerful demon. She just doesn't want to, like, use that power to make people do what
She wants
them
them
to do.
to, yeah.
Because she's just ethically opposed to it,
Yeah.
to asserting that power, which means she's just too nice for hell.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, pretty much.
Which is why I love her character so much.
But I think that'll be, I don't know, like, I think that they should do, you know what bothers me about Avatar The Last Airbender? Okay?
Is how
I
morally
promise-
righteous Aang is?
No. I promise this will be related, but like, you know the old lady who's the bloodbender?
Yeah.
And they make a whole big deal about like, oh, bloodbending's wrong, don't do that, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, when you're fighting against your oppressors, I think you should be allowed. You should be allowed to do a little bit of bloodbending, you know what I mean? So it always bothered me how this old lady's trying to fight against colonialism, and Katara gets all uppity at her.
From like a group of people that tried to genocide them off the face of the earth.
And Katara's just like, well, that's not right. And I'm just like, what? And so I hope that, like, maybe...
Avatar The Last Airbender is an excellent show, but it's a
that's
show...
the one thing that they
It's
did.
a show with a very rigid sense of its own, like...
Morality. And so...
Right? Like, Aang won't kill anybody.
Yeah.
Like, it's very much so a peace and love show.
And at the end of the day, it's a kid's show. But, like, I don't know. But what I'm hoping is... I mention that because I hope that Charlie does fuck him up, because sometimes people deserve to be fucked up. Right?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And so I don't want it to be like, I will never use my power to do bad things.
I mean, but that's the thing is that, like, Katara, it's like... Oh, they fuck up firebenders, right? They just thought that particular move was a step too far.
Yeah, and so that's what I mean, is like, I hope that Charlie deserves to, you should, I don't know, I hope the lesson she learns is that you can...
Charlie deserves to bloodbend.
You can fight people if it's just...
Play dirty.
If they're abusive, you can fight them, I promise,
fuck 'em
right?
up.
But yeah, and so this was, you know, just a disturbing scene with the, but again, like, you have the stuff dripping from his mouth and stuff, and obviously we can't show all
Also,
of this.
the person who voices Angel Dust did an excellent job, because their voice just becomes more and more and more defeated. We also learned that his real name's Anthony.
Yeah. But, like, the stuff that's dripping from his mouth and, like, the smoke that becomes the chains and stuff, I think that it is probably that he is the source of the love potion.
Mm-hmm.
That, like, all love potions come from him, because even his cigarette is like that, too. But also there's a security camera in the room, and I don't know if you guys, just trust me that there's one. I'm not going back. There's a security camera in the room, which means Vox is probably watching this happen. And that's it. But yeah, I felt really bad for Angel Dust here.
Because he really is stuck in a difficult position where he has this well-meaning person that is trying to help him, but she's just unequipped to deal with someone in a situation like that.
Yeah, and like she didn't know the extent of the situation. I feel like she still doesn't. And that's,
Because she's naive. You know?
Yeah, and I kind of wish she did. I don't know, maybe she does. Because she does say to Vaggie, like, she went over here and things were, like, worse than she thought. I don't know, she has a line of dialogue like that later, but I wish that they had done a bit more. But yeah, there's stuff in, again, the music video section that we can't really show. But, like, this song is really lyrically very excellent. I know that it's more of a pop song than a musical theater song, but, like, it's really well constructed. Like, the visuals, you know, the visuals are one thing, but, like, in terms of just the song in general... Hunter, what are you doing? You're looking...
I'm just laughing at something that happened in chat.
You're just looking in the distance. Okay, but yeah, and so, like, visuals completely aside, like, this does a good job of... even though it's a pop-sounding song, we learn
really
a lot about Angel Dust.
Disturbing and distressing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, the final line is fucked up, too. Like, I think he says something like, I hope I don't wake up tomorrow, like, at the end of it, and so...
I will say is that, like, this song is brilliant. I just don't know if I love Angel Dust's voice for it.
I guess, but, like, you have to keep in mind that they're doing, like... a Newsies accent.
I don't think that. Oh well, yeah, he has an accent.
You know what
clearly,
I mean?
Like, this is not. I don't remember this from Newsies.
No. Oh, I'm trying to think of like I'm just trying to think of a line for from the show that I could say in like that sort of accent, but I have nothing. My head's empty. But like that's the accent they're doing,
like
right?
a kind of old style New York.
Yeah, and so I understand what you mean, but that
like
has
Linda
some
from Bob
nasal
Belcher.
elements
Bob's
to
Burgers.
it. Yeah, like
But not quite. This isn't quite what he sounds like.
like the next day they'll wrap fishes in it, but I was there for one whole minute. Like just how they talk about like in the newspaper, just like terrible nasal. Like if you listen to the cast recording, you'll hear Jeremy Jordan, who is gonna be in the show soon as Lucifer's dad. He does this like nasal Newsies, old New York accent, and so I do understand what you mean, but I think it's fine. And he was always like that. Like, even Addict was also like that, but yeah, the visuals were fucked up. I think it's interesting, though, how, like, I guess this is when they first made the deal, I suppose, maybe? Right? Like, the handshake moment that happens, that we see the photo of. But you can see that Vox isn't very happy to see Angel Dust, and there's some jealousy. So I wonder if, but Vox should not be in love with Valentino. Like, Valentino's just a terrible person in general. So...
I mean, he's a violent, abusive pimp. So,
but, even Vox as a bad person, I'm all for villains getting together, I guess, but, I can draw the line at killing people. It's this that I can accept killing people, but this is where I draw the line. Like, that's kind of how, even Vox could do better. But yeah. And so, the bar scene was pretty fucked up, but I think that they make a good point that, Angel Dust is purposefully, going against Husk's boundaries, especially in the dialogue, right? Like, he touches him, and he did not consent to his wings being touched or whatever. And so, he does mention that, the only reason why I'm, hey, get away from me is because you're pushing my boundaries, right?
I also like that it's almost like Angel Dust does not understand how to relate to people in a non-sexual capacity.
Yeah.
Like, he only knows how to use his body to get what he wants.
It's like a hypersexuality.
Yeah, he has this sort of hypersexuality because that's the only way he knows how to get anything in life. So it's interesting. It develops his character further. He's not just him being hypersexual drug addict is no longer just a sort of surface level joke. It's more than that.
And you'll notice here too, he says oh, you look like shit. He immediately puts the mask back on because he realized that the mask slipped there. So I thought that was a really good detail. Angel immediately puts the mask back on when Husk says he looks like shit. When he gets mad, he has the extra eyes like the spider, so we already talked about that. But yeah, I like the conversation at the bar, in terms of establishing, why they're arguing and what Husk doesn't like about him. It's just that, the fakeness is starting to get to him, and the fact that, again, Angel Dust has a very, bad attitude in the sense of, if people would kill, right, to have Angel Dust come on to them, that sort of, arrogance. You know what I mean? I love how they're Husk, what did you do? It wasn't Husk's fault. But yeah, and I really messed up at the studio today, and he got, it wasn't good, okay? Right? And so we still don't know, do you actually understand what's happening here, Charlie? So that was just a bit frustrating.
Also, Vaggie, she's holding on to her and brushing her hair out of her face.
Oh my goodness,
and it's
this
how,
again. Be gayer, do more.
I mean, no, that's plenty gay. It's just how else is this man?
But yeah, I do don't force him back. Just make sure that, he's safe and everything, right? I think that was good, but I do think that, again, the princess thing, the boundary thing got neglected in favor, the princess thing got neglected in favor of this lesson about boundaries and whatever. I think that they should have focused on the princess thing a little more. You have the love potion, just this...
I love how the bartender's a
creature.
mimic, and he has a mustache drawn on the treasure chest
Yeah,
that is either around his head or is his head.
Oh
Not
my god.
clear.
But yeah, so... Yeah, like they drug him. Like I guess he has the angel. It looks like the potion from Hades.
Yeah.
When Hades
from
tries to
Hercules.
kill Hercules.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. But
It's
I
that
think now
thin
we're
pink
safe for
bottle.
the rest of the episode. But yeah, the Husk actually fighting people, I thought that was really good. I like all the little cards he's using. I wonder if they thought of the cards thing after they casted Keith David, just because Keith David is Dr. Facilier, or if it was just a coincidence that there was, you know, the cards and the gambling and stuff like that. But yeah, he knows that somebody spikes his drink, but he doesn't care, right? But I think that they did a good balance of, like, not victim blaming Angel, but also that Angel is, I don't know how to explain it, but he knows that somebody drugged him, but he's trying to escape so badly that it's like a mutual, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
And so that's like the hard part too. It's almost like transactional. Like he's like, oh, I know this person drugged me, but that's good because I want to forget.
Yeah.
So they did a good balance between
Or
not trying to victim blame him,
he's
but
just
also
so gone that he doesn't care anymore.
Yeah, like there's a certain amount of apathy as well. And so I thought that they did a really good scene, like the self-destructing. I like the, like, I don't know, it seems like you may need the bartender to talk to.
Something about a little furry fella, like, giving you life advice is just hilarious to me.
What is Cal looking at? I think the chat stuff. I'm looking at you guys. I'm looking at the chat. And I'm looking at the episode. But, I do like, this was, I think, very important. You think after how you treated me, I'm gonna open up to you. And Huss says, maybe I'd treat you better if you were real and not, like, pushing my boundaries, which I thought was a very important conversation to have. Because, like, you know, at the same time, even though Angel Dust is a victim, he's still kind of doing some uncomfy, like, he's coming on to people that clearly do not appreciate it.
Like, you know, he's not a good person.
Yeah. But I thought that, like, this was really good, too. Like, this is not an act, it's who I need to be. Like, just the dialogue here. Like, it was just a very nuanced conversation as a whole, I think. And I thought that this was, like, that was very, like, poignant. Like, just if I end up broken, I won't be his favorite toy anymore. Like, that was just so sad, but also so real, right? I was an Overlord once, you know?
That was a real left turn. I did not see that.
Like,
because he's so tiny and baby. He seemed so different from all the other Overlords.
I don't think they realize the death of Angel's situation. They know the tiniest bit of it, and Charlie knows even less about Husk. Yeah, and that's why I'm like, Charlie, you gotta do better, girl. Like, you gotta just do better and ask people what's going on.
It's her
with their
naivete
lives.
and her, like, she has more good intentions than she has good practices.
Yeah, and you can also see that, like, I didn't notice this, but I saw someone say it on Twitter. So Husk is wearing clothes in this scene, right?
Yes.
Like, okay, so you have the cards, and that's, you know, that's whatever. And Alastor coming in as the king, I thought was pretty clever. But, like, he has clothes here. Now he has no clothes. He's naked, so Alastor literally took the clothes off his back. He has no clothes. I mean, I guess he still has a suit, but he doesn't have the clothes that he had back then,
Less fancy clothes.
But yeah, so I guess Alastor just, I'm still confused about why he's not an Overlord anymore, because I was like, oh, Alastor took his Overlord thing and they switched places, but you guys told me no, that's not what happened. Alastor was always an Overlord, so I guess it's just that, like, Alastor has now 2 Overlord seats, if we're talking about seats on the council.
Yeah.
And so it's not that Alastor became an Overlord from
has more
gambling with
power.
us. He just has more power now.
Because he gained the power from Husk.
But yeah, and so, I really like this song. I thought it was really good. It's definitely one of the best ones in the entire show. I think both visually and then also in terms of how it's sung. Again, I still have to check stuff like syllable-wise and lyrically, but I'm pretty confident.
I think this episode has the best songs in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I think that even though, again,
They're both
Poison is more of a
knockouts.
pop song, like that, they're both as you
knockouts.
said, yeah. And I love that, like, the power bottom at rock bottom
Which
was
is
insane.
hilarious.
Like, objectively insane, hilarious. What a good line of dialogue, like, of lyric, I should say. And I love like Husk in his like reflection, looking at his reflection, and then also Angel Dust was looking at his own reflection in the puddle. But yeah, I like it that it's like, oh, well, you're not the only one that sold their soul away. Like, we were both bad, right? And, you know, it's his way of saying accept yourself.
It's commiserating, which is kind of nice.
Yeah. And I also saw it as like, you know, if they say I'm a loser, I guess I'm a loser, right? It's like, I don't know, if they say I'm a drag, I guess I'm a drag queen. No one has ever said that, but you know what I mean? Like that.
Or it's like that scene from Game of Thrones, like it's like you're a bastard, I'm a dwarf. You wear like armor, it'll never be used against you.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so that's what I
and,
feel.
Yeah.
That's what I feel is like that, and I love this. I just love when Angel just joins in, and this is a really nice, visually, it's just a really nice scene.
I love how his line is, I gamble a lot, and then...
Gambling and sampling, that's pretty good. I know
like
that they have
sampling
different...
drugs and sex, like one's a lot more... a lot less.
What makes it work is that you have the ambling, right? So you have the middle of the word and the end of the word, even though the P and the B is different. That's what makes it work. So I thought that was really good.
The visuals too, with the neon signs.
Yeah,
and
it
how
makes
they
it feel
grow
very
and grow
like
and grow.
Broadway. Like riding deflower with power. I sold my soul to save my power. See, that's the interesting thing. So I guess he still has his powers, but he's at Alastor's beck and call.
Manlet. Oh, because he's short.
Well, I think it's because Alastor has his balls.
Oh.
I think that's the idea.
Well, the no balls is that, but manlet, because like that's what people call short men when they want to be mean.
Yeah, but I'm assuming that. So this is a little confusing though, because I'm like, I sold my soul to save my power, which is nice alliteration. But I guess that means that Husk, like, I'll give you back your overlord powers. Like, you're an indebted servant to me. You have to pay off this debt, and then I'll give you your powers back. I guess that's what they're doing, is that Husk is not an overlord anymore, but he still has his magic, but his magic is only at the permission of Alastor, because the idea is you have to pay me back, right? You have to pay me back first. And so I think that that's the idea. Now I'm on that demon's leash, right? And so it's like, Alastor was like, I could take all your power from you, but I won't. Instead, you have to work for me until I decide that your debt's paid off. So I think that that's the idea.
I also like the neon
lasso?
raindrops in the back, or not the lasso, but the raindrops in the background, how they flicker on and off, and they kind of repeat. It has a kind of chintziness that I enjoy.
Yeah, nice little, again, like Broadway spectacle.
And then this is
the
great.
Sign, the tarot
and the dancing
cards,
is adorable.
Just the playing cards.
Yeah, in front of the big sign. It reminds me of like Chicago.
Yeah.
When the two girls are dancing together at the end.
Or like this is La La Land too, kind of a vibe, right? But yeah,
and
I thought
the dancing's
this was
great. It's very well animated.
My only pet peeve is that I do hate when songs get interrupted at the end like this. However, on the soundtrack, they do finish the song and they both say "like me" and they close it out instead of it being like "there he is." But yeah, I hate that. I hate when they interrupt the song and then on the soundtrack there's not a uninterrupted version. So luckily they thought about that. But yeah, Angel Dust kills some people, and then we get like, yeah, I'm not just good for, you know, sexy times. And so, like, this guy's ain't half bad. So it's like almost Angel Dust is going back to how he was before, maybe Valentino. And maybe also Cherry Bomb coming back. Like, that could be not representative of that, but Cherry Bomb coming back into his life. They seem to be palling around, and Cherry Bomb likes to do a little war sometimes, so maybe. But yeah, I thought, like, this was nice to see them bonding together and everything. Yeah, Charlie apologizing. I mean, that was okay. Like, but I'm just like, did we learn the right lessons here? But I mean, there's still more of the show to go, so I guess it's
look,
fine.
she's holding her girlfriend. They're so baby. I love it.
But that was it.
Oh.
Anything else that we should talk about before we go?
I really enjoyed the first 4 episodes. I will say that the first and 4th are definitely the standouts there.
Yeah, I mean, I do wish that they hadn't, I mean, like we already sort of mentioned before, I do wish that they hadn't released them all at once.
Yeah,
just
it
because
would
we
have been
lost
nice
some
to...
theorizing power, but, you know, in this stream, we did talk about a couple of theories,
Mhm.
so I think we did a good job in regards to that. I don't really have anything else, particularly, I think, to mention.
I'm looking forward to where the rest of this shows go, because I feel
I'm
like
really looking forward to
I feel
Jeremy
like
Jordan coming in as Lucifer.
it's also it's juggling a lot of different topics. It's what's going on with Alastor, what's his motivations,
Yeah.
what Vox is gonna pull.
And we already have a season 2 confirmation.
Yeah,
that
what is?
they're
Oh, that's
recording
good.
for season 2
What
already,
is Vox
so.
and Charlie's thing going to be? What about Charlie's mother? What about?
There's Lilith and Eve and mysterious
and then there's the angels
in the
coming
trailer,
down,
right?
and then like they were able to kill the angels. Are they going to go to war? There's a lot of like balls being juggled. Plus the whole like let's try to make people better thing. Like it's very
I think that
entertaining.
some things will definitely be over by the time season 1 ends. My first guess is Adam. My second guess is Valentino. And that's the only thing that's going to be resolved this season, if anything, probably. But I'm not sure. It's going to depend on the conversation with Charlie and her dad, I think, that we've been getting. And then there's also been, like, there's stuff in the trailer that we haven't seen yet, and one of those things is Charlie backstory. So, yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed the live stream. I know that we kind of came just out of the blue, like, we did not advertise, we did not tell anyone, we just, you know, popped up live or whatever.
Pulled the pin and threw it into your YouTube feed.
But yeah, I had fun.
I
you know, this will be archived in case you missed the beginning of the stream and everything. We will keep doing these for the episodes as long as somebody's watching them. I'm surprised at how many people came to watch our analysis. But yeah, I mean, this was Ruby analysis. There was one where we talked for like 8 hours.
The record was the finale of Volume 9, and it was 8 hours, and my God, that was a little much.
Yeah, but it was I think it was worth it. But yeah, we will definitely, we'll still be here. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys in a couple days, because there's 2 episodes tomorrow. But yes, thank you guys for watching. Bye, guys.